Megan Fox has the story.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Megan Fox, a national journalist.
Mastodon. I will never be able to say that out loud.
It feels like the Flintstones live there.
It does.
Well, don't trust women. I think you just touched on that with your last. That's what they brought. We're going to have to bring back chaperones.
Jesus, no.
Just careful. Stop! Break! Ooh. Hard right.
How did you screw up a stove, Megan? You're a woman. I thought that was baked into you. Like at the genetic level, how to operate kitchen equipment.
And honestly, Megan, if you don't like it, I'm sorry. I've been very nice to you.
You get Dino hanging out outside chewing on a large bone.
I highly recommend being targeted by the New York Times and Rolling Stone for weight loss. And I'd say, keep it coming. I need to lose 20 more. Please, keep it coming.
Explain to me, Megan, why did this country not have a holiday once a year? That's the time you vote. If you don't show up and vote, up your ass. You don't get another chance. You don't get, I don't care if you're in the hospital. Crawl to the stake, crawl there. But that's it. One day, 12 hours, and then you're done. And you count them that day, and that night you know who the hell won.
I will eat you alive. You want to tangle? You want to go?
The only thing going through my head is, what are you going to do when Megan Fox runs wild on you, brother?
He made a deal with the devil. She's the devil.
He wants that.
Oh, God.
Gross!
Oh! All right. Penalty box for slug. Yep.
Of a mile.
Are you ready to behave yourself now, slug?
This frustrating rep.
Are you ready to behave yourself? Repossessed puppies. I'm hiding pork chop. Have you seen his little pork chop? Oh my God, pork chop is the cutest.
That sounds bad.
Have you seen it?
Pork. It's pork.
Though you may be tempted, do not contact any person or persons mentioned on this stream. Do not even think about contacting anyone who may be the topic of the daily news. If you should do that, the host will question your IQ, possibly call you names, and mock you for disobeying these basic rules of decency.
All the best!
All the best! Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the show. It is time for Tim's Trial Day 3. And here to help me out with that is House of Fluxx. How you doing?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm a little tired, but we have this. So the kids decided to set up a tent with an air mattress on the screened-in porch, and it was like weeks ago, and we haven't taken it down because we're all taking turns sleeping in it. Outside. It is so great. So I slept in it on Saturday night, and there were the strangest noises in the woods all night. It was so great. It was like, I think there were owls. There was something that sounded like a slow, creaky door. And I know it was an animal. I just don't know what kind, but it was like over and over again. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we all know you wouldn't survive in a horror movie. You just stay outside and be like, what is it? Run from the noise. You're supposed to run from those noises.
But I was safe on the screened-in porch. It's almost like being inside the house with just all the windows open. But anyway, and it got super cold. But I was in there with the sleeping bag, Man, is that good sleeping when it's really cold and you have you have your hoodie on, we're all sleeping like this.
Yep.
It's good stuff. So I don't know. I don't think we're going to take it down for a while. I think we're all having too much fun taking turns sleeping outside.
Nice. It is
Ah.
useful sometimes.
Yeah, it is. All right. So Mo's going to be here when she's finished with her stream this morning because she's doing, her normal mornings with Mo. I don't know what time that gets done. I guess I could have asked, but I didn't.
Typically around 9, a little after 9 sometimes.
Oh, so she shouldn't be long. And today we are going to be listening to the testimony of 3 radiologists, and I'm going to put it a little bit on higher speed so we can get through some of these because I really want to get through the radiologist today because guess what's going to be the next one?
A witch?
Any guesses? A witch? Close. Yeah, maybe. We're going to get to see child abuse pediatrician. I think her name is Verena Brown, and she is one that I've actually reported on before. She is well known in the community, and her testimony is 3 hours long. So you know that's going to be a good one. So I'm hoping we can get through the radiologist today. Now, as a note for tomorrow, I will not be streaming this trial tomorrow. Tomorrow, I have an interview with Jack Fox from Never a Truer Word, who is going to be talking to me about Laura Owens and the emails that I got from a person named Tag. Remember Tag?
Ooh, I'm so this is why I'm so excited for this trial because I want to know about Tag. I want to know about Chase. I want to know about all the aliases and all these people that are like, hello. And it's like, okay,
I know.
hi, who are you? And they're like, we're gone.
And Jack Fox does this really cool analysis of written words. And, he has studied her words and things that she's written. And I believe he agrees with me that no one else could have written that except Laura. But we're going to go into it in detail. We're going to read through the messages from Tag, and he's going to give me his opinion. So that's going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. So no Timms trial tomorrow, but then we'll restart back up on Wednesday, hopefully with Verena Brown, the child abuse pediatrician. All right, so let's get, I don't have it open yet, of course. Oh, bingo. I'm not finished making bingo, but when I finish it, I will put it up. So just hang on to your shorts. Bingo is coming. Don't worry.
Phrasing.
All right, let's see.
On an off note, did you see the thing I tagged you in on Twitter? A dude in the UK got arrested for calling somebody a Muppet.
I saw that. What are they even doing over there? Like literally, what are they doing?
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous, really. Like what are we doing? They're arresting people for memes. Like it's getting out of control.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Who did he call a Muppet? Do we know?
He called one of the cops a Muppet or a lady a Muppet.
What in the hell? Oh, that doesn't make any sense.
All I know is America, freedom of speech and whatnot.
Yeah, this is why it's so important to keep mocking and ridiculing people and laughing at them when they send us cease and desist orders. Because this is America, and I will fight to the death for my right to call you a Muppet. Amen.
So
all right, folks, don't forget in the chat, I have pinned to the top of the chat super tips. And well, no, I haven't pinned it. I'm going to pin it right now. Oh, no, it is pinned. Okay, good. Super tips are a lot of fun. It is AI voices. They are not real people. I do not have them chained in a basement somewhere, forcing them to read your chats. It is just AI. But you can choose a different voice and you can have it read to us on the stream at supertip.gg/Megan Fox. And I love it because they only keep 10%. That means 90% goes to the creator. So that is really fun. And it's a good way to support the show while we sit here for hours and hours and entertain you. That's right. We are going to sit here for hours. In fact, today I got myself a thermos of coffee, a bowl of creamer, so that I do not have to go and get coffee. I have an entire thermos. These are the sacrifices that I make for you, chat. So you should check out Super Tips for me. And also you can always send Super Chats, but if you don't have anything, if you cannot afford to send me anything, and I get it, believe me, because today it is bad out there. Make sure you share the stream and hit the like and subscribe because all of those things help me. It helps the algorithm. Right now, looks like we have about 97 of you in here. So share it out. Did I share this on Twitter? I guess I didn't. Whoops. I know I shared it on Locals. So let me share this on Twitter. And then we'll get going here. Today, we are going to be listening to the testimony of Dr. J. Coleman, who looks very strange. And you're going to have, he's like a cross between Mr. Bean and somebody else. And I don't know who that somebody else is. So chat and Fluxx, you're going to have to help me out with this. Rosalyn is going to be here later too. I think she had a call or something until 10:30. Oh yeah, there she is. She's in the chat. Hey, Roz. All right, here we go. This is Dr. J. Coleman. I'm going to put it on let's do 1.25. And if that's not fast enough, we'll speed it up. All right, here we go.
I have a feeling it's not going to be fast enough. Can you get your full name for the record? Oh God, it's not going to be fast enough.
And how are you currently employed?
I'm a radiologist at the Cleveland Clinic.
How long have you had that position?
All right, and just FYI, this one's a little difficult to hear, so I'm turning on the captions. And also, don't complain about the sound. It's court. It's video testimony on top of it. Yes, I'm working on the bingo cards. Chat, calm down. They'll be there soon. Oh, just
bingo.
Just in time. Mo in the deep end. How you doing?
Good. I finished my stream and then I'm like, I'm good. And you know that, okay, I'm going to let y'all in on a secret. 6 children does not a strong bladder make. So my inner child who might be a B word, but really funny, she's like, oh, are you feeling lucky today? So she starts sending me mental images of like women jumping up and down on a trampoline. And you're like, fine. Obviously, I will go.
I'll go. Shit. That's that voice in my head every day. Okay, I'll go. Shit.
I know. And she's like, see, told you so. I'm like,
you know when the thoughts start coming in, like maybe I should go to the bathroom. You don't even fight it. Just go, because you're going to regret it if you don't.
Yeah. Again,
no,
after
I
6
am
children,
thinking about
don't
it.
Sneeze.
Now you're thinking about it.
Now I'm like, shit, do I have to pee? I'm going to sit here having to think about having to pee for the next
entirety
hour.
of chat is going to go on a bio break now. Like Mo just put it in our head.
It's like a yawn. You can't do that.
We'll wait for you if you want to go to the bathroom.
Look, I'm just encouraging bladder health.
You're going to have to help me decide who this guy looks like, Mo, because I feel like it's a cross between Mr. Bean and somebody else.
Sheldon Cooper.
What did you say, Mo?
Sheldon Cooper.
Who's Sheldon
It looks like Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory if
and
Howard had a baby. Because he's got like some Howard feature. So if Howard and Sheldon had a relationship like Rajan and Howard did, that would be their baby. I can just imagine him saying, "This is my seed. This is my seed."
Right?
Yeah. This is fun with flags.
I don't know what to say other than this guy kind of freaks me out. I feel like he has a kind of an alien features.
I feel
There's
like
also
I
something
have
about
more
him.
testosterone than him.
There's something about him that reminds me of E.T.
Yeah, it's the angle, it's the camera, it's the lighting.
Elliot, phone home. To be fair, he suffers from the same thing I do, so I either look red or really, really pale. There is no in between.
There's no in between.
Where I have a normal complexion. It is either like pale, like, Elvira, or red like a tomato. It just no middle.
I need 3 more. Oh, I need 2 more box spaces. Let's see. I got weird court noises. I'm missing 2 more, and I wrote them all down, but I'm still missing 2, and I don't understand why.
Side eye.
Do we have
I got
weird
that.
faces?
Weird faces? Oh, I know. Sex scandal face. I forgot that
yeah.
one. That one has to be in there. Let's see. One more square, guys. One more square. What am I missing?
Uses
Oh,
the C word.
oh, this is going to be good. I forgot to put on witch sighting, and that's going to come in today.
Ooh.
That's going to come in big time today. All right. Bingo is finally done. I have generated the card. I am going to put the link in the chat. For those of you on Rumble, you're fucked. I can't go over there. Like, just if you want the bingo link, you're just going to have to go to YouTube and grab it from there. I'm sorry. But Rumble, what have you done for me lately? Really? I mean, let's be honest. There's like 20 of you over there. You know, you should probably, I'm glad that you're there, but I can't go over there. I'd have to open up a whole other window. I have too many windows open already. Love you, Rumble. But that's what you get for being over in the ghetto. All right, let's see. Super Tips is here. Oh no, now the dog is barking. What are we doing? Who's here? Better not be somebody I have to go answer the door for. I'll tell you that much. I do not like answering the door.
At least you have a bra on. I always seem to get the calls.
How do you know?
That is true. We didn't coordinate bra, matching today.
We didn't. No, I'm always wearing a bra. One must when one has super tits. That's just how it goes.
Yes. Anything over a D requires an underwire at all time.
Yes. Full structure.
Yes.
All right. The link is now in the chat. I am pinning it to the top. We have the super tips and bingo pinned to the top. So if you want to play along with us, we have bingo looks like this. Oh, girls, I'll put the link for you too in the private chat. Let's see. You guys need your bingo link. There you go. And generate card. All right. This is what we have today. We have a free space, which we can check off for sure. Drunk or high witness, evasive answers, sidebar, coughing in gallery, which we now have to say from now on. I always have to say sidebar. Ever since the Boston cases, I can't get past sidebar. Coughing in gallery, judge gets annoyed, Mo drops the C word, witch sighting, Meg's blood pressure meds stop working. What a bitch. Weird court noises. The simulation does not disappoint. Conflicting testimony. Lazy investigator. Mo makes us snort. Court reporter. Side eye. Overruled. Dumpster moment. Sex scandal face. State lies, which we should probably just check off right from the beginning. I mean, we know that's going to happen, but no, we'll wait for an actual lie. We can actually say defensive body language. Mo hates prosecutor. Prosecutor earns Megan's hate. Hair talk and blink rate anomaly. Oh, by the way, Jennifer Williams will not be here today. She is on vacation, but she will be back on Wednesday. So that we're looking forward to that. Carrie Timms will be dropping in when she can, if she can. I don't know if she can today or not, but she will if she can. All right. Is everybody ready? Here we go. So this dude is a radiologist.
A year and a half ago.
Previously, were you employed with the Erlanger Medical System?
Yes, I was with a private practice that was contracted with them.
And how long did you have that contract?
I worked there from when I finished fellowship in 2020 until I took this job in October of 2023.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen in the jury what your formal education is to be a pediatric radiologist?
Yeah, so obviously graduated high school. That was in 2006. Then went to undergrad at University of Oklahoma.
What did you get your bachelor's in?
Microbiology.
Yeah, we have to speed this up. I can't take it.
Southwestern in Dallas, Texas for medical school. Graduated there in 2010. And then I did a residency in diagnostic radiology, which is like general radiology, which I finished in 2019. And then specific subspecialty fellowship training in pediatric radiology, which I finished in 2020, like I mentioned.
In this particular situation, are you certified to practice as a pediatric radiologist?
Yeah, so all radiologists can read pediatric radiology films. There's a certificate of additional qualification granted from the American Board of Radiology specifically for pediatric radiology, which I also hold.
And what states are you able to practice medicine in?
Right now I have medical licenses in North Carolina, Florida, and Ohio.
Had you previously been certified in the state of Tennessee?
Yes, in Georgia.
Her hair reminds me of like porcelain doll hair.
The American Board of Radiology, the American Board of Radiology.
It's very Crystal Gale. I want her to start like doing the mamas and the papas, like all the leaves were brown. I imagine her listening to Karen Carpenter on her way in, and just every morning, her Donny Osmond and Karen.
Well, look, she's either that or she's Pentecostal. Although no, she's not Pentecostal because she's got cut bangs.
Yeah,
I was
it's
gonna
not
say,
in a
I bet she
bun.
was a blast in the 70s.
She has really beautiful hair. Like it really is. And I of all the, but wait till you see what she's wearing. You haven't seen it yet because the camera hasn't backed off, but you're going to scream when you see what she's wearing.
Is that a cape or a
yes,
tablecloth?
it's a cape. It's a cape. No, she's wearing a fucking cape.
Can we put that down as witch sighting?
Yes, but wait till you actually see it. And hair talk. We can check off hair talk too because we've been chatting about her hair. Yeah, witch sighting and hair talk. But wait till you see that she is wearing a fucking cape in court. A cape.
You know what Georgia needs in the middle of summer is obviously a woolen cape.
Maybe there's a. Well, no, there was. Wait, what? When was this? Yeah, it was summer, wasn't it? What the heck? Maybe the air conditioning is just on full blast.
You know,
Fair point.
I feel like lawyers would benefit from like an appearance class. Like in law school, they should be taught how to kind of what to wear and what not to wear, like a cape. Like a cape. Maybe don't wear a cape to court.
Oh, well, the other thing is capes are really outdoor wear. You know, this is like for wrapping up to go outside. Capes are not really indoor wear. I mean, I wore one to a concert the other night, but it was in my event, defense, it was outdoors.
Unless you're Wednesday Addams, it's not a thing. Let's be real.
I think she's trying to tell us something.
She looks like she is a Harry Potter character. And the hair and the cape, she is straight
Miss
out
Weasley.
of Harry Potter.
Oh my God, Miss Weasley.
She's a Weasley.
Kids.
She could be the long lost Weasley sister. Maybe she is the one who went off to become a Muggle lawyer. She was born without the magic. Maybe
that explains why she wasn't in the books.
They were very disappointed.
They picked the wrong Georgia. They thought Georgia the country, and she went to Georgia the state. They got estranged.
She's an estranged Weasley. That makes all the sense in the world.
The simulation does not disappoint because I feel like, come on, man.
Right, with the witch cape. She's wearing a cape, and like we're always saying that there are witch. You're right. We also can check off the simulation does not disappoint. She checks off 4 boxes today.
Nice.
And she's probably going to check off what a bitch too. We'll see.
Obviously, and then the American College of Radiology, which is a separate thing.
Before I get too far away from the topic, how long is the additional training that you get to be board certified in pediatric radiology?
It's a fucking cape. Look at, and it's got purple inside, like a purple velvet interior.
What in the Speedy Gonzalez is this poncho cape? I feel like she's straight from Arizona, and she's going to tell me about the crystal vibrations in the mesa and how aliens are real.
You guys, this is too much. It's too much. I mean, how long before I have to pull out the paint stick and give her a broom and a hat? Like, how long? I should probably do it just right now. Should I just get it out of the way?
Especially with like the black undersleeve, it just doesn't look good. Is she wearing a black dress under?
Who knows? Yeah, it's a black robe. Yeah,
I don't understand. I'm like, these.
It's a druid robe.
They need education in dressing professionally.
I
In my
quite
opinion.
enjoy it. I wish more lawyers would wear capes in courts. This is hilarious.
That's
This
it. When
is
I
good
run
entertainment.
courtrooms, if you're not dressed as your, your house, if you haven't had a sorting hat and worn your appropriate robes, you are out.
In your courtroom, you walk in and there's a sorting hat right there and robes to hand out. Like, all right, get under the sorting hat.
That's how you get picked for the jury.
The jury is all muggles.
Wow.
Oh God, it's so funny. Oh, it's so funny. I don't really hate her hair though. I don't. I just think that she shouldn't wear
it's
it like
not
this
bad hair.
in
I'm
court.
jealous of her hair. I
She has
I
really
don't
pretty
think
hair.
it makes her look less authoritative. Again, you are representing the state, which does, I feel like, need to be a little bit more restrained and put together. This looks like again, beautiful hair, totally jealous, but it looks like she's going to a photo shoot or to, worship Hecate
Glamour
skyclad.
shots. She's set up for her glamour shots. Imagine
It's
how
like she watched The Craft once.
Imagine how good her hair would look in like a big twisted bun or something, because she has so much of it. She could do a braided bun. She could do so many cool things with that hair that would be very, appropriate and professional. But I mean, it's beautiful for regular everyday wear. But I don't know. In the courtroom, I feel like the judge should be like, can you tie that shit back? Like, it's distracting. The jury cannot stop looking at that.
Oh, man, if I ever become a judge in my courtroom, I'm going to be like, look, y'all, this is my courtroom. Your hair will be pulled back because you're going into battle. Take it seriously.
Yeah, tie that hair back. This is a battle. You're going to get caught on that shit. Someone's going to yank you down by it. It's kind of like in football, when those guys with the long hair, they don't put their hair inside their jersey. And it's like, well, that's your own fault, because guess what? You can get grabbed by that. That's legal. I feel the same should be in court.
Yes.
Speaking of football, Patrick says, go Bills. Just woke up from anxiety-inducing game. My God, that game was incredibly anxiety-inducing. I missed most of it, but I came down for the end. I thought they were losing because I was down when they were losing, and then I had to go back up. I was doing editing, and I came down for the end. And my husband was going crazy. And I'm like, what is happening? He's like, they're going to score again. They're going to score again. And sure enough, and then they won by 1 point with no seconds left. It was crazy. It was crazy.
What happened to y'all's kicker? Because he
got hurt.
My kicker.
He got hurt. He's out.
Wait.
Yeah, he got
did
hurt.
They tackle it? I thought you were supposed to tackle the kicker guy.
I don't know how he got hurt. Maybe he got hurt kicking a ball. I have no idea, but he did get hurt. And so there's a new guy, and new guy last night pulled it out, man. He did it. So
now I need to find a new kicker.
Slug Entertainment, thanks for the 5. Bad news. Abuela Megan has admitted to being 4'8". I am 5'4". Well, 3.5. 5'3.5". Jameson 2012, thanks for the 2. Fluxx, you are too smart to be a judge.
Thanks.
That's why we need her to be one. Yeah, that's why, because she is so smart.
I don't know if I could be a judge, though. I think my ADHD would just be too like, no, I don't want to read all this shit. You're stupid and you're stupid.
Yeah, I would be like, don't send me case law. I want you to come up with the best insults. We're having a rap battle, diss battle right now, and go.
Oh, yeah. That would be good.
Jen the Couch Fairy says, wow, I just got here and zoomed to actual testimony. Only 8 minutes behind. Just an indication that the Megan chat index is high today. Yeah, sorry. I've been waiting for you guys to get here. Like everybody's still not awake yet or something. So, send the link out. Make sure everybody knows. We don't want them to miss it. But we've spotted an actual witch in the courtroom. She's wearing a cape. A cape, people. If you just got here, my witch theory about these medical kidnapping cases still holds true. It is look at this. It's a cape.
I feel like you legit just need the pointed hat, and she's out of any witch movie ever.
ever.
I just,
Okay, I can't take
I feel
it
like
anymore.
she can't go to lunch because if you have big boobs, you know that they have their own gravity. So that is a blank serape and then just the
Wait, that's
salsa
too big.
stains that would be right here when I got back.
I mean, again, like
Here we go.
you don't wear a coat in court. That's essentially wearing a coat in court.
I feel like she
It
needs
is.
a deer stalker cap. Just
What's
go
a
full
deer-
Sherlock Holmes.
What's
You know,
a
if
deer
you're
star? Oh,
it's
you mean
the Sherlock
the
Holmes cap.
Sherlock Holmes cap?
Yeah.
Maybe, but I still like my witch theory. I do. I need. Let's see. We need
She
brown.
does look like she could be a Sanderson sister.
Yeah.
What's this? Who's the Sanderson sisters?
They were from Hocus Pocus. Or
Oh,
was it
right.
the Sanderson or the
I know all of
Sanford?
these people
No,
look
that's
like
Sanford
they're
and
like they
Sons.
could be Hocus. But you know what? We'll give her a purple broom. I can't find brown for some reason, so we'll just have it.
She
You know
looks
what?
like she'd have a
It'll match
pimped
what
out
she's wearing.
We're
Nimbus
gonna have her.
2000.
We're gonna have her wear it like riding it. There we go. There we go. Just gonna have her riding it. We might as well. I realize she looks like she's impaled on it, but you know.
She's like, I'm gonna get the quaffle. I swear it. This year we're gonna be Quidditch masters.
Your Honor, there was no parking left for my broom. I'm sorry, I had to bring it into the courtroom today.
It doesn't even have fringes. I feel like there should be fringe on it.
Oh God. Unfortunately, I don't think that I can push play while the drawing is still going, so I have to take it down.
So to be certified in pediatric radiology, in addition to the 5 years of radiology residency, you also have to do an extra year at an accredited pediatric radiology fellowship. So it's an additional year on top of the already 5 years.
Oh, there it is.
And
It
you have to
came
take a
back.
test and pass that test.
Excellent.
Do you subscribe to any medical journals?
Pediatric radiology.
Oh no.
And approximately how many x-rays and scans and surveys
subscribe
have
to
you read over
people.
your
What does
career?
this
And I
have
won't
to
have
do
exact
with
number,
anything?
just ballpark.
Yeah, it would be very tough. It's well over tens of thousands and probably
They're trying to
probably over
say
100,000.
that he's a very, very, he's very qualified. Tens of thousands of x-rays he's read. Well, I don't care how many you've read. You can always get one wrong.
So my question is Erlinger actually accredited? Because from what I've heard from, Carrie, it was dirty and disgusting. So is Erlinger actually accredited? And I don't care if you subscribe to a magazine involved with your profession. That's not a sign of anything. I subscribe to people and I keep up with Bat Boy from the Inquirer. Doesn't mean I'm an expertologist in cryptology.
I was going to say, I subscribe to tattoo magazines. Does that make me an expert in tattooing?
I thought it was funny that they asked the pediatricians too what journals they subscribe to. Like, does the jury care about that? I don't care.
Also, do we think that Dr. Halpern has actually seen a Goofus and a Galleon? Because I don't think she could really understand the moral, conundrums. She's probably like, I don't get it, but I didn't find the 5 matching, snakes, so good on me.
I'm more interested in what their Google reviews say. I think that's more relevant, That's more relevant than what the Google I want to know what the public says.
Your Honor, at this point in time, the state would tender Dr. J. Coleman as an expert as a pediatric radiologist.
Mr. Good, Ms. Bernard, this witness will be admitted for that purpose.
Dr. Coleman, I'm going to call your attention to December the 8th of 2021 and ask where you worked at that point in time.
At Erlinger Hospital.
He looks like a cartoon snake. That's what it is. There's a cartoon snake out there that has his face on it. Like, look, let me show you.
The one from Jungle Book.
Yes. Like, sleep with me or whatever.
Oh, wait, no, we have to
Share time.
delete that. How do we delete that? Delete the draw. I know. No. Okay. All right. Here we go. All right. So imagine, if you would, that he has
Also,
like a
isn't that the
snake
scandal face?
body.
What is up with
Oh,
them
that is.
swallowing
Oh
their
my God.
ropes?
It's the sex scandal face. He's doing it already. Look.
We have figured out your Halloween costume, sir. We don't charge for this service. It is an act of public service we give freely.
And it's the shape of his face. And I feel like just a little bit more out here, and we would have a cartoon snake face. And like the eyeballs, like well, I know they're down here, but I feel like they should be kind of like up here, like right there. And there would be like Ka from the Jungle Book with like the little circles, like with the hypnotic eyes. In fact, wait. Wait. Let's do that. Let's give him. Boy, my drawing technique is bad today.
He kind of reminds me of Slimer now too, from Ghostbusters.
Oh God! All right, he needs the hypnotic swirly eyes. So we just go swirl around. It's like, listen to what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying makes total
I have
sense.
a subscription. You don't understand. I look at magazines. I've read highlights.
Yes, this is exactly. This is a very serious broadcast today, folks. I just want, if you came here for serious court coverage, you're in the right place. I just want you to know you're in the right
serial, guys.
For yes, all the seriousness.
Oh no. Okay. See? Do you see what I'm seeing? Because
I do. Although, and now it's just
and then
accentuated.
his body,
smile.
we have to look. It's gonna be like twisty around. It's like coiling around. He may have a small child in this big section over here, and then over. Okay, there we go. The tail is coming around over here. He's coiled up around his next victim.
I kind of feel bad for this guy. Imagine he's just like, I was on court. I bet that a lot of people. So he stumbles on and he's like, I do not look like a snake. Defamation on you.
Oh yeah, I'm totally gonna get a cease and desist from this guy's attorney. Stop drawing me like a snake.
You should
I am
reply
not
with the lawsuit where somebody tried to sue you for calling them a Muppet. Just respond with that and be like, here's your cease and desist response.
Be like, your cease and desist is not funnier than this one. This one's better.
You mean nothing.
Oh my God. This is perfect. Oh yeah, wait, we need a little forked tongue. Right.
Right out of his little swallow my lips smile.
They all do this lips pressing thing. It's
Is that a
very
Georgia
strange.
thing? Like, is
I'm
that
not
how you guys are told to smile at the DMV? Like, you're not allowed to smile, but you don't want to look like a serial killer, so you do that like.
Oh, I don't know. I did that with my license, and he actually let me keep it. I went.
You did?
And he let me keep it.
Why would you do such a thing on purpose?
So
Because
I always
it was
ask the DMV.
2020 and life was rough.
Well, I always ask the DMV, I'm like, look, we both know that I'm lying about my weight, but I'd like to at least be semi-honest about my hair color. Could we just put subject to change? And they're like, no. And I was like, well, then you, like my children's school, are going to have to check my ID every time I come there, because sometimes I'll come in wigs, and these women are like, you know, we always double check with you because we never know what you're going to look like. To be fair, I have shown up in the Sarah Boone wig and the Lori Vallow wig, so I do understand what they're saying. They're like, yeah, we just never know who's going to be driving your car, but it's always you.
Did you see that Cardi B clip from court where the lawyers
did.
You had black hair and then you had blonde hair. What's your real hair? And she's like, it's a wig.
I thought what was hilarious was the judge was like overruled, like like keep going. Move on, counselor. Like move on. These questions are not do you have any questions? Did you hear that? The judge was like, if you're out of questions, we can move on.
I mean, I have a question as to why she named her first kid Culture with a K. I feel like that needs a lot more explanation, but
do celebrities really need to explain why they do what they do?
Between Apple and Blanket and
I'd also like to see
North-
her like notes when she was writing the epic poet commentary of our time, WAP. I'd love to see her like work on the lyrics. Like, no, that's just not degenerate enough. What can I liken my lady bits to that sounds both disgusting and kind of like I have a UTI?
Oh yes, Nab Cruels says Megan Fox is going to get a cease and desist.
Yes.
All right, let's get serious, people. This is a professional show. We are doing court coverage. There is no room in this coverage for this kind of juvenile behavior. For God's sake, who's running this show? Why can't I stop this?
Not Adderall.
Oh no. There we go.
Was he the pediatric radiologist that read the x-rays that are associated with the December 8th, 2021 films for Jameson Timms?
Yes.
Were there any findings?
It was a normal limited survey.
I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Particularly as to the ribs, were there any fractures identified on the ribs?
There were fractures.
When a bone is broken, typically how long would it take before you would expect to see some callousing forming around the bone to show that it's healing?
Yeah, typically in the range of 10 to 14 days.
Did you see any callousing on any of Jameson's bones?
No.
Did you see any compression fractures on the spine?
No.
You indicated that he had a normal exam. There was one note off to the side about physiologic periosteitis.
Wait a minute. He just said he did not see any compression fractures on his spine.
Also,
we are going to hear from another
physiologic
radiologist.
Periostis or because there is a periosteum that is sort of a membrane or a lining of your bones. When they weren't sure if I had CRPS, the one random thing they also thought of was chronic periostitis. So the doctor was explaining it's kind of like the outer lining of your bone, the periosteum. But if he was showing abnormalities on his bones on a fairly normal x-ray, that should have led to more questions. If there was some sort of inflammation already being shown.
No, Mo. It leads to child abuse charges. That's it. That's all it leads to.
Fair point. By
the way, so I just caught this. I've watched this already because I wanted to know, because it's difficult content because it's it's medical jargon and stuff. But he said there were no compression fractures on the spine, which I think conflicts. I think that conflicts with what the next radiologist is going to say. But maybe this is the first set. Maybe this is the first set. Yeah, and then there's a second set. Okay, that could be. I don't remember.
But again, they're trying to point these out as normal. Radiologists don't make notes unless there's findings there. So the fact that he made a note of something being off with the lining of certain bones or something just not quite right, and he felt that he needed to document it, that is significant. I mean, a lot of, and especially with pediatrics, they carry some of the highest malpractice insurance kind of coverage. So it does make sense that anyone involved in peds would cover their behind. So if he notes anything, you can't then pass it off as it was completely normal. But they are, so.
I think I said the last word right, periosteitis.
Yeah, it's periosteitis.
Okay, so I was closer the first time. What exactly is that?
So that is a normal, as it says, physiologic, so part of a normal bodily process that is commonly seen in the 1 month to 6 month age range. We're not exactly sure what causes it. It is thought to be related to just the rapid growth of the bones during that period, and it can be seen in infants at.
This guy talks like lips. The bones. He actually just said, we see in the bones. The
Well,
bones.
And for those of you that don't know medical terms, itis simply means inflammation or state of a disease. So all they are basically saying in the medical jargon is that the bones looked a little bit inflamed or a little bit like they were suffering from a disease process. It's like rhinosinusitis is just, illness of the nose. Sinusitis is just inflammation or illness of the sinus. So
That's what I got.
yeah, so they obscure a lot, but if you know some of the things and hey, medical assholes, just as a CRPS patient here, and I'm so glad with all the research you changed RSD to CRPS and have no flippin' flapjack clue what's going on. Could you maybe have a flapjack clue about anything? Could that happen just once? We have no idea how it happens. Thank you.
Great.
I feel very
but
secure.
yet at the same time, when they always say that, we don't know why these things happen. We don't know what the answer is. We don't know what's wrong with you, and we don't know how to fix it. How dare these people then get up on their high horse and say, we know exactly that this is child abuse and we know exactly that you did it, even though we have no evidence, but you're going to jail. Fuck you.
Term and preterm infants as well.
Did you see any evidence of metabolic bone disease when you reviewed the scans associated with Jameson Timms?
No, there were no evidence of metabolic or congenital bone disease.
And what would you consider a congenital bone disease?
So congenital is a bone disease that they're born with. So that would be something like osteogenesis imperfecta, would probably be the biggest one relevant to this case.
And then just for comparison purposes, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury what a metabolic bone disease would be then?
So metabolic would be related to how the bones are formed, usually having to do with the like nutritional things. So rickets, for example, or vitamin D deficiency would be the stereotypical most common metabolic bone disease.
My last question along these lines were the x-rays that you read that were associated with Jameson Timms on November the 18th of 2021 consistent with a normal or inconsistent with a normal exam?
I'm sorry, which?
My question would be, is the scans that you read on November the 18th, I'm sorry, I have the wrong date, December the 8th of 2021, I'm glad you caught that, thank you. December the 8th of 2021, consistent or inconsistent with the normal exam?
They were normal.
Okay, Your Honor, at this point in time, the state would tender State's Exhibit number 5. It would be the formal disc containing the Erlanger scans. And in addition to that, well, I'll get that admitted first.
Any objection to State's Exhibit 5, Mr. Hood?
In addition to.
Wait a minute, Ms. Bernard? No objection. Okay, State's 5 will be admitted.
In addition to that, just for the court's purposes and the court reporter's purposes, there are 2 sets of scans on this disc. My second witness will put in the other set. But the films associated with this particular scan, we've marked as 5AA through 5PP. And the defense had an opportunity to review those yesterday and see the markings on them and the exhibit stickers. So I would tender those as well at this time.
So let me, for purposes of the record, you have taken State's Exhibit number 5 and you have made copies of the scans that this witness is testifying about, and you've identified those copies as State's AA through 5AA through 5PP. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Hood, any objection? Ms. Bernard? No objection. They'll be admitted, Ms. Fox.
Your witness.
Mr. Hood? Well, so we have a camera both at the lectern and there's also a camera at your table. So it's just whatever's most convenient for you.
Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good.
My name is Jason Hood. I'm an attorney here. I represent Mr. Brady Timms in this case.
He is blinking wildly.
Yeah, I think we can check off blink rate anomaly. His blink rate is just going crazy right now.
But don't we also have this speeded or sped up?
Oh, that's true. But like, let's look at it
any more credit than normal.
Let's look at regular blink rate and see how it is on normal. Hold on, let's go back.
My name is Jason. Doctor, how are you?
Good.
It's still quite fast. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. I withdraw my comment.
Look at that.
Facts and evidence.
Holy
Sustained.
shit. Sustained. Objection. Sustained. Oh my God, that blink rate is really something. Was he doing that when the prosecutor was talking to him?
it wasn't that bad. He was blinking pretty quickly, like a lot, but it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, there was coughing too. You can check off coughing in the courtroom. We got the coughing.
From Texas this morning. Few questions for you. You indicated that to get the certification for pediatric radiology, you had to take a written exam. Is that correct?
It's an electronic exam like most of our board exams are nowadays.
And that is an exam that's prepared, to your knowledge, by whom?
By the American Board of Radiology and other pediatric radiologists that will prepare the questions and certify them.
Have you ever had the opportunity to meet any of the authors of that exam?
I don't know. It's possible that in passing I would have met them, but I don't actually know who makes the questions.
I don't know if you're aware that there were images taken of Jameson in January of 2022. So a few weeks after you reviewed these images in December of 21. Were you aware of that?
I've been told that. I haven't seen the images myself.
And those images purport to show, when I say those images, I mean the images taken in January of 22, purport to show healing rib fractures, posterior rib fractures on the left side of Jameson, I think at the 8th, 9th, and 10th ribs. Have you been made aware of that?
I've heard that those images were taken, but like I said, I haven't seen them, so I don't know for sure.
So let me get this straight. He's the one at Erlanger who does the first set, and they see nothing. And that was in November, right? No, right? November or October?
December, I think. Is that December?
December? It was December. It was. You're right. It was December. So
he's only talked about December, at least from what I've written down. But I also had to leave early, so I didn't know if maybe he had
it was
talked
December.
about other times.
No, he didn't. He was just the guy at Erlanger, the first hospital. They saw nothing. Then in January, suddenly there's 3 fractures on 7, 8, and 9.
I thought it was 9, 10, and 11.
Yeah,
no, 7, 8, and 9.
It keeps changing.
It does? Did you write down 9, 10, and 11 before?
I have 10 written down.
Huh.
Yeah, I'll have to look back at my notes.
Oh, you're right.
I think
you're right. I have 7, 8, 9, and 10 written down from our notes from earlier last week. Huh.
Well, yeah, and I thought that Jessica had told us to keep an eye and keep mindful of that because the rib numbers would change throughout the trial.
Well, here we are. And here we are because we've got our notes, our conflict, the test. I'm going with check off conflicting testimony because we heard last week it was ribs 7, 8, 9, and 10. Now they're saying 7, 8, 9. Okay. Weird. Very weird.
If I had, and I'll pose this sort of in the vein of a hypothetical question. You're an expert, so you get to speculate a little bit, unlike most people. If I have consulted with one of the authors of the test that you take to become certified in pediatric radiology, and she has reviewed the January images taken at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta and acknowledges calluses on the left 8th, 9th, and 10th ribs, but says it is impossible, in her opinion, to date when those fractures occurred. What is your thought about that?
I think often when you compare with the other images that are done beforehand, and how should I say this? So knowing what previous images looked like gives you a hint to how long ago the fractures occurred. Because you can expect, like I said before, you can expect to start to see healing changes around 10 to 14 days. After that, it gets more tricky because you're looking for subtleties in how much it's healed, which is obviously trickier and comes with experience.
So if I told you that she's had the ability to review the CHOA images and all of the images that you reviewed at Erlanger, and you not having had the opportunity to review the CHOA images, does that weigh on your mind at all in terms of the opinion that you give?
I would say that the images that I read were normal, and I haven't looked at those later images, so I don't know how to comment on those.
In terms of reviewing your records, Ms. Fox asked you about metabolic bone disease, and I just want to make sure that I'm clear about the language that you placed in your record. What you indicated was that you saw no definitive evidence of metabolic bone disease. Did I read that correctly?
Oh, this is funny.
That exclude the possibility of metabolic bone disease.
So that language isn't going to say that I did not see any metabolic bone disease.
Answer the question. That wasn't the question. The question was, does your analysis exclude the possibility of a metabolic bone disease? Notice he did not want to say yes or no. He didn't say yes or no. His response was
evasive answers.
Yeah.
Yep,
Also,
evasive
who says
answers.
bone? I mean, he just
Bone.
says bone
I know.
really
Lips.
oddly for a guy.
Legally, Leslie says it like that. Bone.
Did you
It's like
suddenly become an Anglophile, like just for the word bone? Like you decided to add a U in there for some reason because you're, uppity? Oh my God, he does need to go back to hosting Blue's Clues. We gotta find another clue. That's our first note or clue put in our notebook. Then what do we do? Blue's Clues.
Yeah, he definitely needed more clues.
Wait,
He needed magenta and blues help.
In that case, he needs I don't want to erase my beautiful snake drawing, but we could put a striped sweater on him. That might be funny.
Just do the stripes in the other green color so he's the same color as the striped sweatshirt.
Should we put a striped sweatshirt on the snake? We can do that. We can Yes. No, don't do that. Oh no, I've messed it up. Oh no. It's gone now. I did something.
Oh no.
I've done something bad.
What is the impact of the word definitive in your record?
All right, I'm going to back this up for a second because you really have to get the entire, the whole thing of this. Let's go back to when he asked him about the evidence of metabolic bone disorder with the word defensive. This is really something, and then I'll let it play through because, man, does he get snaky and cagey.
Ms. Fox asked you about metabolic bone disease, and I just want to make sure that I'm clear about the language that you placed in your record. What you indicated was that you saw no definitive evidence of metabolic bone disease. Did I read that correctly?
Yes.
That exclude the possibility of metabolic bone disease.
So that language isn't going to say that I did not see any metabolic bone disease.
What is the impact of the word definitive in your record?
That there's, findings of metabolic bone diseases that are definitive.
Oh, sir, you cannot use the same word to define the word.
No, no. I feel like Jeff needs to be here and said, no, we don't do that.
No, we don't do that. You can't. And wait, I was immediately when I heard this, I was like, holy shit, you can't use the same word you've just been asked to define that word. You have to use other words to define that word. And I was like, oh God, I hope the lawyer catches it. And yeah, He totally does. But speaking of Jeff, I do have a super tip to share with you from Vice Baby.
Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you all have a great start to the week, and let's get this show started.
Nice. Thank you for that, Connor. We appreciate you. We love you.
Yes.
Alrighty. Here we go. Now listen to this. This is so great. So this turd has just tried to define the word definitive with the word definitive. And Jason Hood isn't having any of it.
But you're using the word to help define the word. So when you use the word definitive in that sentence, what is the meaning of the word definitive?
Findings that are clearly representative of that etiology.
So,
Weird faces.
He was like, did they buy it? Watch his face jerk after saying that. Watch how he's like, did they buy it? Did that work?
And it would be
Did that work?
idiopathy, not ideology.
Yeah, ideology is the wrong word too.
Look, he wasn't
ideology
a lit
means a
major.
belief, you dummy.
Findings that are clearly representative of that etiology.
That face! That face! My God, I have to see it again. It's too funny. Watch this. Wait, in fact, we're going to slow this down. Because this face
on steroids.
This face is like, it's crazy. I've never seen anything like it.
Etiology.
It looks like when my youngest, most feral, is trying his best to explain to me that a robbler came into our house, took a magic marker, and signed his name on something like our wall.
Hi there.
Oh no, what happened? No, go back.
As robbers are wont to do, tag his name, leave nothing, take no valuables, run out of the house.
And stupid YouTube just lost my place. Hold on. I can find
like
it.
when my baby brother was little and he did something bad and he'd get in trouble, but he'd have the nervous laughter and he'd go.
Yeah. That's exactly what it seems like. Like, is he what the heck is he doing? Here we go. We were at 1422. Let's go back there.
He is
All right.
obviously not a fan of Sarah Boone's use of the thesaurus and dictionary. He doesn't know what Sudoku is or whatever she talked about, the gold silver dust lining.
Oh, God. Jameson 2012, thanks for the 2. I posted a medical witchcraft case in Georgia. LOL. Did you? I'll have to check it out. I think I saw that on Locals, but I haven't had a chance to look at it. Well, these medical kidnapping witchcraft cases are everywhere, by the way. Jameson 2012, thanks for the 2. I am fluent in medical jargon. Just saying. Well, great. If we need you to define a word, we will definitely ask for your help. And I have exciting news. We may be joined on Wednesday by Dr. Joe Corcoran. From the Maya Kowalski trial.
Dr. Goodhair himself.
Dr. Goodhair himself may be joining us on Wednesday for Dr. Brown's testimony.
Representative of that etiology.
That face!
So, I deal in my law practice sometimes with doctors and with radiologists. And no offense to any radiologist, but what I've kind of learned over the years is you all tend to be very, very careful with the language that you use.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
The word definitive, in my experience, is not there by accident. So my question to you is,
what did you mean by that?
Definitive in there for a reason. Was it to say, I can't definitely say there's no metabolic bone disease, but I can't rule it out.
He's not going to answer this either.
No, it's to say that so, for example, a classic sign of rickets would be frayed and splayed metastases, in which case I would have taken that phrase out and put in that there were there was evidence of rickets. There was no evidence of rickets, so there was nothing that was definitive for a metabolic bone disease.
Would there be any radiological evidence of vitamin D deficiency? Not formal diagnosis of rickets, but a vitamin D either deficiency or insufficiency. Would that appear on the X-ray image?
I think I see what you're getting at. So a patient can have that underlying problem and not have radiologic signs of it.
Doctor,
that seems important.
What brings you to, I don't know if you're working this morning or not working or whatever. We greatly appreciate you being available and talking to us this morning. Thank you, sir. Ms. Bernard has some questions for you.
Thank you, Mr. Hood. Ms. Bernard?
This man watches paint sample dry, and
Good
that's
morning,
like the
Dr.
funnest thing he
Coleman.
does.
Thanks again for joining us. I'm Catherine Bernard, attorney for Carrie Timms. And just wanted to continue a few questions regarding your expertise. Are there any special challenges with pediatric radiology and reading scans, particularly as they relate to x-rays of infants?
So one, kids are not little adults, so they don't have the same pathology that adults have. Kids don't heal the same way that adults do. They don't present the same way that adults do. So that can be a challenge for some people. They also squirm a lot, so sometimes the images can be blurry and we have to retake them. But just the common issue when dealing with children.
And so is that particularly an issue when you are seeking to, well, I suppose you are not in the position of actually performing the x-rays, you're reading the scans that are produced afterwards, right?
Yeah, so we, as a pediatric radiologist, you would read the scans, but you also quality check them to make sure that they're good enough for the purpose that you're performing.
And so you mentioned that you were with a contractor that was working at Erlanger in December of 2021, is that right?
Yeah, so like many hospitals, they have groups of physicians in private practice, and the hospital will contract with that private practice group to provide radiology services or surgical services or anesthesia. That is the situation here.
And so were you solely providing pediatric radiology services at Erlanger, or did you have any more extensive role?
So I primarily did pediatric radiology on weekends. My job included also covering adult radiology exams for a time, so I would do both during those shifts.
And how long had you been working at Erlanger as of December 2021?
Would have been about a year and a
Questions are
half.
funny.
Because I started July 1st of 2020.
And did you interact with the doctors who would order the radiology scan analysis in a particular case?
Yes.
And so in this case, do you recall which doctor had authorized the scan and that you were communicating with?
I don't. Frequently it was Carla Garcia, but I don't know in this particular case who it was.
And in fact, that is Dr. Carla Garcia is who is recorded on there. Now, were you familiar with any focus or area of focus that Dr. Garcia had?
She was the physician that mostly took care of the child abuse cases or the suspected child abuse cases.
So that was her focus. She was a child abuse pediatrician.
So she did that. That was primarily the way that I interacted with her. I think she also, I don't want to speculate about the other jobs that she did, but that's how I frequently interacted with her.
Now, you never examined Jameson Timms personally, right? Your responsibility was radiology, so you never saw the infant when he came into the hospital, right?
No, I did not.
Do you recall the first time that you were made aware of his case and the need for your analysis of the radiologic scans?
Yeah, it would have been about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Before that, I hadn't heard of it.
And that's 2 or 3 weeks ago from now?
Yeah, that was the first time I heard about the case, this case.
So taking us back to December of 2021, were you made aware by Dr. Garcia or anybody else, hey, we've got an infant in here, we need you to look at the scans, or did you just receive the scans and perform your analysis?
No, so I got those scans. So back in 2021, I saw the exam. The exam has a reason for exam, which is, follow-up suspected non-accidental trauma. So at that time, I knew that this medical case, as opposed to the legal case, I knew that the medical case was happening.
And so you do
Wait. I wish Jennifer was here because so they suspected at the first Erlanger trip, they were already suspecting them of child abuse, but they didn't find anything. And so nothing happened.
Well,
Why were they suspecting them of child abuse? The first time that bitch doctor, the one with the hyphenated name, Harbin Pickett, told them that she wanted blood tests for leukemia and other blood cancer, other things. But
she has a God complex. It's all because of her.
But there were no marks on the baby the first time, right? So what were they saying? What was the first time for? I got to go back and what was the first visit for?
I don't remember, but wouldn't, if you know the case or the pediatrician that's involved in all of these non-accidental trauma cases, so she orders the scans, if she's in charge of that, doesn't that predispose you to look for any anomaly and view it as abuse versus,
like Kimmy says, so they told him what to look for. Yeah, that seems like a real bad idea to me. If you want to know what an unbiased radiology report looks like, then you shouldn't be saying to him, hey, we think this is non-accidental trauma. Take a look and tell us if we're right. What?
Well, it's like the physiatrist who finally diagnosed me with CRPS. He basically sent me to the scan and said, this never shows up. You are not going to be diagnosed. We'll put you in here, but this is definitely, I have rarely seen any of real cases of CRPS. So I did my triple bone scan and he said, well, congratulations. You're like the second case I've ever seen. And it was diagnosable. But had the radiologist just taken, hey, she's probably faking it, and didn't look at the things, they could have ignored my findings too. So it is really interesting that these radiologists are basically being told, hey, this is definitely what this is, and not looking at it objectively. I mean, and if he knows this is a legal case, if he realizes that doctor, he should be extra careful to not have confirmation bias, because the way he said it now indicated that he just believed off the bat that he was looking for non-accidental traumas.
Right. Which shouldn't he just be looking for whatever it is in his expertise he sees instead of hearing from anybody else about what's supposed to be there? Carrie Timms is in the chat. She says markings along long bones were the cause of the first visit. But Carrie, was that on the skin? Markings on the skin along those bones, or was that from another X-ray? That's the one I don't understand. It was on the skin. Okay, it was on the skin. But so that just goes to show that they thought they were trying to nail these people for child abuse right from the beginning. And because this guy couldn't find anything, they weren't able to do it on the first one. It was the second one where they were able to do it. And weirdly, when they did the second scan, now they're seeing the healing fractures and the spinal fracture that wasn't there, according to this guy, in December. Carrie says, yes, on the skin, they were deep purple. That's the exact same thing that was happening to Emma Hernandez. Exact same thing. And after they took her away from her parents and put her in foster care, it kept happening to such an extent that the daycare worker had called DCF and told DCF they should take her to the hospital, which they didn't do.
any distinction between the medical and the legal cases there?
Yeah, I think I misunderstood your first question.
I may have asked it in an unclear fashion. So I think you were saying that you became aware of this case and the need for your testimony today, about 2 to 3 weeks ago?
Right, yeah, correct.
And you had not been over the case since then in the intervening 3 years, right?
Right, yes.
Now, you mentioned in your scan the symmetric periosteal reaction, and I think you had talked about that with Ms. Fox a little bit. Is that like a bone growth and inflammation issue? Could you tell us a little bit more about that reaction?
Yeah, so like I said, it's a normal finding that's expected in the 1 to 6 month age range. And it is unclear exactly what causes that, but it is thought to be related to the rapid growth of the bone during that time. It's common to see it along the long bones in the legs, so the tibia and femurs, as well as the humeri, so the upper arm bone.
Is it fair to say that this is not something that is completely understood and that you can map out in terms of we expect to see this at 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, or can we do that?
Yeah, we expect to see it in the 1 to 6 month age range. It can be asymmetric, which can trick people up. But if you see it on the same sides or on both sides, it looks the same, then it's characteristic and typical for physiologic periostitis.
And then you did not do, it says under scheduling instructions on your report, no skull, spine, or pelvis needed unless the radiologist wants them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's standard. So this was a limited bone survey. It was a follow-up. And so to reduce the radiation dose that these kids get, they're already getting a whole lot of x-rays. We don't re-image the skull or pelvis typically. So the original bone survey, the not follow-up one would have included additional radiographs that we don't do on the follow-up unless there was a problem. So if there had been a skull fracture, then we would have gotten repeat skull radiographs, if that makes sense.
So are you referring to the skeletal survey that was done on November 18th of 2021 that you were making comparisons to?
I'm saying if I assume so it's typical for the original full skeletal survey to also include those regardless. And typically the follow-ups are a limited skeletal survey and don't include those. I actually don't know for certain what the original one included, but that is how it typically was protocoled.
Hey, Megan, can you pause it real quick?
Yeah. An exam of Jameson's.
Do we have any long-term studies, or have there been any studies brought forward with the amount of radiology, the amount of radiological interaction these children are getting, about any long-term effects or anything like that? Because these are not, while they're non-invasive, they're not completely without risk. So I can't imagine.
In fact, Emma Hernandez shows signs of radiation poisoning. Radiation poisoning is a very well-known cause of or symptom of being exposed to too much radiation. And a lot of the symptoms that Emma Hernandez was showing, she had something, a crazy amount of radiation exposure. And a lot of her symptoms, like the constant throwing up and like lots of them, radiation poisoning, classic. Are there there must be studies, because radiation poisoning is well known. This is why they are supposed to be reticent to give x-rays to infants and children, and that's why you only do it if you absolutely have to. But these child abuse pediatricians, they're like shooting your kids with radiation over the drop of a hat. This kid had impetigo on his face and he gets a full body radiation for that. It's just ridiculous. Even the pediatrician said that it looked like impetigo. Well, then why the hell didn't you treat it as impetigo? Why did you send him to get a full body x-ray?
I mean, I understand again, but they lost the blood work. You would think that if you are going to try to take a child away, you would want to have all your I's crossed and your T's your I's dotted and your T's crossed. Unless you're dyslexic, then you do it the other way
Whatever.
around, like I
Either one.
said. But you would think you would want that there would be such a high standard. And the fact that it wasn't until this past year that they had to make doctors actually have laid eyes and looked at the basic medical history of these children before they pass these judgments is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Because how many grandfathered cases have parents maybe pled because they're just not sure if they don't have the resources, or they didn't, find help that, other parents have gotten. How many cases have been like this? How many kids are out there that maybe need extra vitamin D, or maybe, are being set up for bone issues because they're not being addressed because their parents were accused of abuse?
Oh, I think, when we heard in Harbin Pickett's testimony that vitamin D testing is not a general thing they do for newborns, I think it should be changed. I think every newborn, because so many people have vitamin D deficiencies now for whatever reason, every newborn should be tested for it, clearly, because it can solve a whole lot of problems. Especially, there's another thing they don't tell you. I never heard this, and I exclusively breastfed all three of my children. I did not know that babies who are breastfed are at a higher risk for a vitamin D deficiency. If mom has a lower vitamin D rate, baby is not going to get enough vitamin D. I was never tested for vitamin D. Nobody ever tested me or the baby. And in Emma Hernandez's case, same deal. It turned out that her mother was severely low in vitamin D, and the baby was breastfed, and so she had a severe vitamin D deficiency as well. Nobody tested her until they took her away for abuse and whatever, and then they started giving her vitamin D. Well, wait a minute. Abuse doesn't cause a vitamin D deficiency, you big dummies. So why didn't you look into that? Frankly, I think this ought to be something that they do for every baby, is test vitamin D levels. It's something you can do very easily. And also, they're already taking blood. They're already doing that. So test it for vitamin D.
It seems like it's something that, again, we are aware that we have nutritional gaps in America. We are trying to become healthier. It would seem to be a test, because they do test for vitamin K, which is sort of a supplemental vitamin that works with vitamin D. So you think that would have been, just something else that we could just add
you would
easily.
Just add it to the newborn, roster of things we do. It can solve a whole lot of problems and catch a whole lot of rickets is completely and totally preventable. Brittle bone disease is preventable by giving extra doses of vitamin D. It's not that hard. So, unless there's some other underlying metabolic disorder, but most of the cases could be solved by vitamin D. So, and it sounds to me like mothers ought to be tested for it too. So if you're breastfeeding your baby, you need a vitamin D test to make sure that your vitamin D levels are where they should be. But nobody ever told me that. I never heard that, ever.
Well, yeah, when I was a dumb 21-year-old with my first kid, it wouldn't have occurred to me. And I'm notoriously anemic, and
me too.
Have low vitamin D. So it wouldn't have even occurred to me, because my thought would be my body's just going to make me more anemic, but give whatever it needs to my baby.
To the baby.
Because that's kind of how you're taught with breastfeeding. Like, you get all the immunity, the colostrum. So in my brain, I was just thinking, okay, well, I need to take more, M169 is saying they don't test for vitamin K. They give, I knew it was something with vitamin K. Look, I've been out of the maternity ward for 9 years.
They shot to all the babies, and it's there are risks to that too. I'm not sure, do your research, but yeah, they do that. And that's another thing. If you try to deny that in the hospital, if you say, no, I don't want that, they'll take your baby too. So yeah, you should probably just cooperate. Like, it's not worth it. When you're in the hospital with the baby, you just do whatever they tell you to do, period. And when you leave, you do what you want. But when you're in there, they've got you. So
I loved the little nurse who on my sixth baby was like, we have some videos for first-time parents. And I'm like, this is baby number 6. I'm not watching a damn video. And she's like, well, if you refuse to get parenting help, then we might have to mark it down in your chart. I was like, please do. I was like, please do.
Oh, that's ridiculous. How stupid is that?
The x-rays, did you?
Mine should have included it. At least, so the chest and abdomen will also include images of the spine just because of where they are. So the spine is included in those.
Would that be listed under findings under bony thorax?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, so if your report doesn't mention anything about the spine being normal or abnormal, is that standard or is that a function of this follow-up not being focused on the spine?
So if there was anything abnormal with the spine, it would have been included in there as abnormal. The exam is also not totally focused on the spine, and so that's why there's no, this is normal. But if there had been something abnormal in the spine, which I've seen before, then it would have been in the bony thorax section.
Okay. And so this was a follow-up survey to the skeletal survey that was done on November 18th, right?
Yes.
So did you have the opportunity to review the scans from November 18th prior to performing your follow-up analysis of the new scans done on December 8th?
Yes, and it should be listed as a comparison typically in the report.
Okay, and so if it says the comparison and then just has the date, is that pretty standard?
Yes.
Okay, so you don't have like a whole other analysis of the scans from the 18th? You just have one analysis of both the 18th and the 8th?
So when reading the follow-up exam, we would have both sets of images up at that time and look at both pictures to compare them.
So if your report doesn't contain any comparisons between those two scans, were they identical or, I mean, you mentioned that there's that these changes, especially with periostitis, can occur very quickly in infants.
Yeah, so we expect them in the 1 to 6 month age range. But if so the comparison doesn't always get mentioned in there. So I'm not going to say, you know, there were no rib fractures before, as there are also no rib fractures now. It just informs the analysis of it, if that makes sense.
All right, and then just, I know my colleague asked you a few questions regarding the use of the word definitive. Were you able to observe any radiographic evidence from other parts of the body beyond what you had reviewed in this follow-up?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sorry, I'll try to be more clear. This, the findings that you have put in this report, do they include an analysis of the skull and extremities?
So not the skull, yes, the extremities.
And that's because you're just wanting to avoid subjecting an infant to additional radiation, especially in the brain area?
Right, yes.
Okay. Is there anything else about your review and comparison that you haven't mentioned in your testimony here today?
No.
Did you have any follow-up involvement whatsoever with the case?
No, like I said, I didn't hear about this at all until 3 weeks ago.
Okay, so you weren't contacted by CHOA, and there were no conversations with you as the...
We're doing the dog face again. So do we not believe him? Is this a lie? You've had no conversations about this case with anybody from CHOA since then. Nope. With the press lips sex scandal face. I don't know if I believe him.
I'm torn because I believe that the state is ill prepared and just thought they were going to coast. But I could also see him lying too. So I think two things can be true at the same time. And the moon. What is it? The sun, the moon, and Schrodinger.
And Buddha or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
This face keeps popping up in these cases. He seems very uncomfortable with that question, which is, did you talk to anybody from CHOA about this case? Nope. With the tight lip. And if I say I did, they're gonna kill me in the middle of the night. They're gonna drag me away out of my bed.
Oh my God! That's why he was blinking so much. It was SOS. He was trying to. It was more
radiologist who was doing the analysis in December.
No.
No further questions. Thank you for your time, Dr. Coleman. Ms. Fox, anything else of this?
All right, so that's the end of his testimony. And now we have another radiologist. I'm hoping we can get through the 3. I don't know if we can get through all 3 of them, but we can get through 2 of them, I'm sure. Because this next one is only 15 minutes long. Let's see. I got to get to the other. All right. Let's see. Here we go.
Oh, and I definitely got the green memo today.
Yeah.
Forest green. I'm
Girl,
loving
To be
it.
at
fair,
you.
this is like my favorite color other than black. So
Mine too. Same these.
I'm just wearing what I slept in last night. Let's be
Well,
totally
your
honest.
hair looks fabulous though. It's got like natural volume and the money pieces up front, and I'm just like,
Thank you.
oh,
Thank you. It's yesterday's hair also. So I'm doing really
hey,
well today.
those are
Really.
like a post-Lenten miracle when you get more than 2 days when your hair looks nice and you don't have to use like all of the
Well, I
spritz and the
use that.
spray.
I use those have you seen the sleep tie thing? The sleep
Oh
It's like
yeah.
I use one of those, a sleepy tie. And it does make the hair look nice in the morning. But yeah, no, I'm totally in last night's pajamas. Sorry. I also am getting a little worried that I'm sweating under here. I may have to take a deodorant break in a minute. Actually,
Witnesses, they just get your blood boiling.
Actually, because I have this thermos of coffee here, I really should just take a pee break. So that's what I'm going to do. You guys hold down the fort for me. I'll be back.
Woohoo, we're in charge.
Yay!
Yay. I
Oh,
don't
man.
trust any of these people. Now I can't move to Georgia.
Right?
Not
Why
that
do
that
they
was a
all
plan.
like? Why do they? We need somebody. The memers need to make a compilation of every person that makes that face because it's been every single one of them that does the.
It's like they're
Like
trying to do
we
Eat
all know,
Cabbage Patch.
right? I mean, I feel like that's one of the most classic like examples of you're trying to be dodgy or lie that there is the whole.
Yeah, and I don't like that. Okay, let's say he was being completely honest. You're telling me that the state didn't think that they needed the original, radiological guy when they were originally bringing this case in front of people? They weren't like, hey, dude that looked at the x-rays, you want to join this case at any point? It wasn't until 3 weeks, before the case that they thought, oh, we should probably contact people.
Right, especially when the case has been going on for how many years? Like,
Wasn't it
wasn't
3?
it 3 years?
3 years.
And it was like, oh yeah, so the guy that like took the first x-rays, we're gonna wait. Did they just put this case together 3 weeks before the trial? I don't
really believe that. I don't really believe that. They didn't prep him. He's the state's witness and he just got notified that he's a witness. Nah, bro. I don't buy that at all. Nope. And that's, I think, why his face looked that way. All right. This guy is Dr. Nicolas Appleton. It's kind of an
what a fun
all-American name. That is a fun name.
And Ms. Fox, he's your witness.
Thank you. Can you please
Oh.
state your full name for the record?
Nicholas Cheatham Appleton.
How are you currently employed?
I'm a diagnostic radiologist with Tennessee Interventional and Imaging Association.
If you pull the microphone up about 6 inches, you won't have to bend like that. You're welcome. How long have you had that position?
This is my 4th year.
And how long have you been in the field of radiology?
I graduated from residency in 2017.
Can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury the education that makes you qualified to be the radiologist that you are?
So I went to medical school at the University of Tennessee.
He's
in
still
Memphis.
bending forward. He didn't get the
Graduated from there
memo.
in
He's still like
2012, and I did a diagnostic radiology residency with the Air Force in San Antonio. Graduated in.
How long was your residency?
It's 5 years, and that includes a
Okay.
1-year internship. That's not.
But is
specific
he a
to radiology.
pediatric radiologist? Again, the
I don't think
pediatric-
so. I think the next one is the pediatric radiologist, and that's why his interview is only 23 minutes.
Okay.
He's the one who sees like the you'll see there's like these little ball
Oh.
things on the ribs, and then the next one is the pediatric radiologist. So they had their bases covered. I'll say that the state seemed to have their bases covered with their doctors, whether or not not every doctor is correct. Period. I mean, you're going to show two different doctors the same thing, and they're going to see two different things. So I don't really think it means anything that these three agree on something.
But more of a general medicine education.
And then after the residency, was your residency itself focused on radiology though?
Correct.
And then after that, I guess 4 years that you spent focusing on radiology exclusively, and then 1 year doing general?
So that was the residency. So after residency, I was a staff radiologist for the Air Force for 4 years.
Okay. And then are you certified to practice radiology in any states?
Yes.
What states are you certified for?
Tennessee, North Carolina, Georgia. I've had several medical licenses. Some of them may have expired. So
Those for sure.
those for sure. Yes, ma'am.
And in addition to practicing in different states, are you a member of any professional organizations?
Nobody cares about that. It would be great if you said I'm a Mason. I'm a 33-degree Mason.
I guess I'm a member of the American Board of Radiology.
Their symposias are off the chain.
Certified through them, not necessarily a member.
They get
Do you
wild.
subscribe to any professional journals?
I'm a member of
It's like the
RSNA,
Globe.
Radiology Society of North America. And they,
Okay, Flux,
know you
how
won't
many
have an
times
exact number,
has he
nobody ever does.
prescribed 2,400 milligrams of ibuprofen?
All of the times. All
Every
of
day.
the times I immediately hate him. He's untrustworthy and he's a butcher. Instantly
Yeah.
done as soon as he's a military doctor. Nope, I'm done.
No,
I'm out.
Flux is out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Flux is
Nope.
out.
He's like, you've got a broken femur, take a salt pill, walk it off.
And here's 3 vaccines that no one's been that haven't been tested on anyone but you.
Yeah, you tore your meniscus. Here's some ibuprofen for you. There you go. Have fun.
Oh
Nope,
man.
he's terrible. Mm-mm.
Why is she
Nope,
dressing up
already
like
don't
my
like-
couch?
Look at her cape. Look at this. Look at this angle. This angle is
Just looks so
good.
terrible.
It's so good. Oh my gosh.
Ma'am, it is called purple shampoo. If you want to get the brassiness out because you have escalating levels of brassiness, purple shampoo.
I
Just throwing
can't-
it out there.
I can't with the baby doll bow. This is court, ma'am.
Oh my God, you're
This
right.
is court, ma'am.
Oh,
Why are you
no,
wearing
she's-
a baby doll bow?
It is
She
like what
thought-
happened to baby Jane. It just is.
She does. She has. Oh my Lord. It. No, it's not. It's not a baby doll bow. I'm looking in closely. It's actually a little rhinestone thing. It's like what it looks like a baby doll bow. That's
Oh,
true.
well, that makes it
Still,
much
like
better.
a little
Rhinestone.
It does.
She bedazzled.
The cape is really over the top for me, though. The cape has just thrown it way over the top. I can't with this
Yeah.
cape. I can't take her seriously.
It's like she's cosplaying as a couch or a recliner to me, because all I'm imagining is, that artfully folded blanket on top of any couch in like those lifestyle magazines. It's always on like a diagonal.
Oh, that's funny. You guys in the chat, I see you complaining about ads. Listen, we got to pay the bills here somehow. If you want me to turn off the ads, I'll set a super chat goal and then I'll turn off the ads if we get there. How about that? We'll set a 20 super chat goal for all colors, and we'll give you an hour. No, we'll give you less time than that because that's annoying, right? You want the ads turned off. So we'll give you a half an hour and I'll turn off the ads. But if, without the super chats, I can't turn off the ads. It's just, that's how we get paid here. But I hear you that they're annoying. I understand that they're annoying. But there's nothing that can be done about it. So, all right, let's get back to it. Where was I? Oh, I need to share this stream. I need to share this page again. Why am I not? Here we go. All right.
But approximately how many x-ray scans and surveys have you read over the course of your career?
oh Lord, thousands, tens of thousands.
Your Honor, at this point in time, the state would tender Dr. Appleton as an expert in the field of radiology.
Mr. Hood, Ms. Bernard. Then he'll be admitted for that purpose, Ms. Fox.
I'm going to call your attention to November the 18th of 2021 and ask where you worked at that time.
was working at Erlanger Children's Hospital.
And were you the radiologist that read the x-rays that were associated with the November 18th, 21 examination of Jameson Timms?
Yes, ma'am.
Were there any findings?
No, ma'am. It appeared to be a normal exam.
Specifically as to the ribs, did you view any breaks in the ribs at all? Any healing fractures, any calluses, anything that would indicate the ribs had been broken?
No, ma'am.
Specifically as to his spine, did you know any compression fractures in his spine?
No, ma'am.
Typically, if a bone is fractured, how long would it take before you would expect to see some callusing? And I guess I should explain it, but some bone growth around the break is how you identify a break?
Yes, a non-displaced fracture can be tough to see on an X-ray. And so one of the things we look for are healing changes, and one of those healing changes is a callus formation. It's kind of think of it as like a scab around the bone.
Okay. And how long would it take before you would expect to see a callus forming around a non-displaced break?
Typically 10, 14 days.
Did you see any calluses on any of Jameson's bones?
No, ma'am.
Specifically as to his ribs, did you see any calluses on his ribs?
No, ma'am.
Did you see any evidence of metabolic bone disease?
No, ma'am.
Did you see any evidence of a vitamin D deficiency?
No, ma'am.
Did you see any evidence of osteogenesis imperfecta?
No, ma'am.
Were the x-rays that you read that were associated with the November 18th, 2021 examination consistent or inconsistent with the normal exam?
Those X-rays were consistent with a normal exam.
Okay. Your Honor, at this point in time, I would like to tender the remainder of the images that were taken off of the Erlanger disc. As I indicated before, the Erlanger disc has been tendered and accepted as State's Exhibit number 5. I've shown these images to the defense yesterday, and I've marked them 5A through P. And for the benefit of the court reporter in the court and all those present in the courtroom, as to the 18th, it's a single digit. The second one is double digits. It's the second one on that disc. So the December one is 2 digits.
Okay, so let me be sure for purposes of the record. The previous witness testified concerning exhibits 5AA through double P.
Because it was the second set of scans on the disc. So there's 2 letters for each one.
So this witness will be testifying as to the scans that you've marked as 5A through 5P. Is that correct?
That's correct. And I would tender those scans at this time.
Mr. Hood, any objection? Ms. Bernard? They'll be admitted, Ms. Fox. Mr. Hood?
Good morning, doctor. How are you?
Good morning, sir. I'm doing well. How are you?
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right, you guys are asking me why he's moving so much in his seat when he talks. For one, we are a little bit faster. I'm on 1.25 speed, so his movements are going to look a little strange. For 2, I think he seems a little nervous. He seems like it's nervous energy, and he could be stimming. I don't know. Maybe he's got a touch of the tism. I don't know. But, that's nervous energy. You can tell he's nervous. He's swallowing. But everybody who gets on the witness stand is nervous. Nothing's really standing out to me with this guy.
No,
so far.
It might be more of just a professional caution because he is just a radiologist, and young adults, babies have different bone structure, have different bone counts. So he might be more nervous saying, look, I'm a radiologist. I looked at this. It didn't have anything alarming, but a pediatric radiologist would look at this. So maybe he's like, look, I did it, but I'm not an expertologist, okay?
Yeah, right.
You received.
I move around a lot in my seat. It could just be, it's just a comfortability thing.
Yeah,
I'm constantly
discomfort.
adjusting and moving.
Yeah. He does do this thing where when he's talking, like if you notice, when he answers the question, he stays still when they're asking it, but when he answers it, he kind of goes back and forth. So I think that maybe it's just nervous energy. Who knows? Maybe it's just the way he talks.
Just let me sort of walk through the process with you a little bit. You work with a private entity as is common, and essentially y'all had privileges at Erlanger Hospital. Is that
That's correct.
And so you would work a schedule, so many days on, so many days off, or weekends, or so many days a week. Is that how it worked? Or you would be on call certain days, or?
It's mostly a normal schedule, Monday through Friday, first shift, 8 to 5 or 7 to 4 or whatever. Sometimes we cover weekends. In that event, we get a couple days off the next week. I take call, so I will be, on call for some emergent procedures occasionally.
And y'all are always busy. You're not sitting at your desk with your feet propped up waiting to get a call from another doctor to look at images, right?
That's correct. We got plenty to do.
Got an assembly line of orders coming in, stuff to look at.
There's generally something to look at.
Okay. And so in this particular case, you received an order, or I would call it an order, but a request to review some images from Dr. Garcia. Is that correct?
So the patient comes to the ER, they get evaluated by doc. Doc orders x-rays, they come down to the department, the x-rays get done, and then they go to our computer system immediately, at which point we're able to access them. You know, they pop up on our list and we click on the most
really
emergent
quick.
ones first. Right.
So you kind of,
So I don't necessarily
the
talk.
judge's hairstyle. It's kind of like just a choppy bob. I love it. Love it.
I don't hate it.
I
don't know if I love it.
Bangs are just annoying, and they are a tool of Satan. So
I don't hate it. I don't particularly love the color. I think I have PTSD from bleach blonde judges since Anti-Bev.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And
I
she
feel
doesn't
like
have the length where
better
she
than
has to do one of these things rather than cut her fringe. Like, okay, jury, have you been able to follow all of my? I'm like,
Right.
ma'am, if you cut your bangs, you wouldn't.
You don't have to do
this to
that.
look, and then I wouldn't have to see up your nose holes every day.
But we know we like this judge. She's a good judge, so that's good. And but I think I just have PTSD from Bev's hair.
She
Where
does look
I
like Bev's
immediately get scared.
sister Judy.
Yeah, I
Like-
immediately get scared when I see a female judge with the bleach bottle hair. I get nervous. But so far, Judge Smith has been fantastic. She hasn't done anything terrible. So that's great. Great news for the judiciary. It's great news that we have a judge who hasn't done anything terrible yet.
Yes.
That's the standard.
So
by the way.
rare.
So rare. And
really
we're all
is.
shocked that this judge hasn't done anything horrible.
Dr. Garcia before.
but you're aware of who is requesting you to review images. Is that correct?
The name will pop up on the screen, but it's up in the top right hand corner. I don't typically look at the name of who's ordering the study.
Okay. Were you aware that Dr. Garcia is the one who ordered the review of these images?
Not at the time.
Are you aware of that now?
I guess so.
Yeah, I
and
guess.
You looked at these images. Do you know? Did you have anything or information about the age of the patient that you were reviewing?
That also pops up on the screen, and you can generally tell, to a certain extent, just looking at the bones.
Okay. And this was a young infant. Is that correct?
I believe so. I don't recall the age off the top of my head. If you say so, I believe you.
Okay. And you indicated that in your testimony to Ms. Fox, what are some of the challenges in terms of reviewing images of children that age? When I say that age, I mean a month to 2 months old.
In regards to what are some of the challenges of just looking at x-rays? Or I know you said children of that age, but it's not. Radiology is broad and deep, and pediatric radiology has a vast array of disease processes. That is a challenge. Looking at x-rays of bones, it's just specifically speaking of fractures, it's generally easy to see if a bone is broken or not, unless it is non-displaced. So think of a non-displaced fracture like this, displaced fracture like this. I can see this a lot easier than I can see this.
So
if the bones are demineralized for some reason, that makes it a little harder.
So just so that everybody's clear about terminology, you indicated that this is a displaced fracture, which means that the bone in question has separated.
That's correct. The two fractured ends of the
Yes,
bones have separated. That's a little bit easier to see than when they are butted up against.
We can't do any hair analysis on the good doctor here because there isn't
You
any.
know-
But I will say I do enjoy the beard though. There's the facial hair is good. There's nothing
And
wrong
his
with
head
it.
isn't divothy,
well
and he
kept.
doesn't. So
That's
it's
right. He has
it's
a nice
and
round
smooth.
head, and it looks like he keeps it nice and polished. It's very shiny, and so he looks
He
clean cut.
doesn't look like he need to make a wish. I mean, because like I made Mr. Mo go bald with baby number 5. If your uterus is currently occupied, if you are pregnant right now, do not make any hair choices. I'd say this for yourself or your loved ones, because Mr. Mo might have looked like we needed a GoFundMe, and he also has a divothy head. So I still contend that I still found him attractive because we had child number 6, but he's like, I will never forgive you for making me go bald. I looked ridiculous.
My son, when he was, my children are so skinny. They're all like super skinny minis. And my son, especially, and he was like 7 years old. It was like in 2020, right? He was around 7. He was stick thin. And his dad is bald. His dad shaves his head. And one summer, his dad was giving him a haircut and he went a little short. And Hangry says, I want it to be like yours. Just shave it. So he's like, okay. So he shaves him bald. And I mean bald. And you see this skinny little kid with a bald head.
Oh no.
And everywhere I took him, people were looking at me like this. Everywhere. Everywhere I took him, people were going, like, I had to put a hat on him everywhere we went because I was like, oh my God, people think that you're ill, that you're sick. This is bad.
Oh, nice.
This is very bad. Everywhere we went, people were just like, oh, look at the little boy.
Oh no. Megan was her
so
own St. Jude's commercial.
And that was the year we went on vacation to Yellowstone. So they were all like,
Did you have to put a bunch of sunblock on his scalp so it didn't redden?
I just had him in a hat. And I even got one of the hats that had the thing that the flap down the back.
The mullet
so that
hat?
nobody, yes, so no one could see that he was bald.
It was either that or dress him up as a beekeeper.
And he's after that, he was like, I don't think I want to do that again. Yeah, probably not. Let's not do that again. I tried to tell him, I was like, oh yeah, you look great, buddy. He figured it out pretty soon.
Each other in the normal position.
Non-displaced fracture would be, and this is my definition. Don't let me put these words in your mouth if they're not accurate. But a non-displaced fracture would be a crack within a bone that has remained in a stable position.
That's correct.
All right. So, a non-displaced fracture of a post.
Oh, I forgot to say thank you to Linda. She sent a super chat via Cash App, which I will count, of course. I will count those if you send them to Cash App as well. Jack's mom, thanks to the 5. My doctor kept running the same regular blood panel 4 times. A specialist ran the extended panel to see that my vitamin D level was very low. Osteomalacia, which is rickets for adults. Yeah.
Posterior rib fracture of an infant child. Would that be easy to see or difficult to see?
That would be difficult to see. And for that reason, we get follow-up radiographs 10 to 14 days later to look for those healing changes, that callus formation that she mentioned earlier.
Okay. And your understanding, your testimony is that you would expect to see that callus formation in an infant child, in this case, within 10 to 14 days of injury.
Correct.
Is it possible that you would not see callus formation with an infant child within 10 to 14 days of injury?
Probably not within a normal child.
Okay. And when you say normal child, what do you mean?
I mean, not malnourished, not deficient in vitamin D or.
Okay. And do you have any information?
Oh, so if
as to
they are
Jameson
deficient in
Timms, the
vitamin
child
D,
who was
you
the
would.
subject of this review, of your review of these images,
Interesting.
as to whether or not Jameson was malnourished?
I don't have any specific information. Like I said, the X-rays looked normal. Typically, with sometimes on X-ray, if a patient is extremely thin, we use the term cachectic, where you can just see bones poking out. You can kind of see the shadow of those soft tissues around the bones. I didn't see anything like that. The bones themselves were normal appearing.
Okay. And you would then have had no information at the time you looked at these images as to whether or not he was vitamin D deficient.
I have access to the medical record. I don't necessarily open it on all the patients. I didn't see anything in the bones that would indicate to me that he was vitamin D deficient. You do see changes in the bones.
Would there be any radiological evidence? Now, I'm not talking about full-blown rickets.
Sure.
I'm talking about a vitamin D deficiency or some sort of opaque mineralization problem. Would there necessarily be radiological evidence of that you could see on an X-ray image?
He doesn't want to answer.
At least he's
I
not
think-
making sex candle face.
If someone is malnourished enough and vitamin D deficient enough for it to affect the integrity of the bones, the structural integrity, you should see something, even if it's just demineralization of the bones.
I think is not the most confident answer you could give. Like, I think.
Okay. So I think he's as much as the other, because Mr. Hood made a point to say that radiologists are very careful about their words. I think we're seeing an evidence here because he is incredibly careful, because there are a lot of times where there are sort of a nebula or a constellation of ways that things present in the medical field that go from acute to, chronic and things like that. So there are a lot of possibilities, and it does seem like he's trying to account for all possibilities while being as
It does.
correct.
While the other one was just avoiding answering the question, which
he
is
seems
he seems like he's trying to do his best here to answer it properly, which is good, and I'm
Yeah.
glad, because what is the point? Don't cover for these terrible doctors. Like, you're a radiologist. What the fuck do you care if the child abuse pediatrician is some, rabid weirdo? Like, just tell the truth. That's all you need to do. Just tell the truth. We might not have caught everything because there's lots of things that could have happened. Lots of things that could be
Yeah.
going on that we might not see.
And he admitted to not always looking at the charts in relation to the scans that he's looking at. So if there had been documentation of any blood work done to try to assess any sort of demineralization or any deficiencies, he wouldn't have looked at it because, he says he doesn't look at the charts all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he doesn't seem to be being dishonest, is what I mean. The last guy,
Yeah.
I didn't believe him. About several things.
No, this
But
guy just seems like he
feel
wants
like
to be
I've-
very clear and very
Yeah.
accurate.
Right.
Now that can be subtle. I didn't see that.
If a pediatric radiologist has offered testimony in this court that he would not necessarily expect to see any radiological evidence of that on an X-ray, would that surprise you?
It would not.
You had no access to any information about, do you know whether or not this particular child was born full term or preterm?
Not at the moment.
Do you recall having that information at your disposal when you reviewed these images?
I don't recall looking at, again, when was the study read?
Oh, we're past 3 years ago.
3 years ago. Okay. I have, like I said, I have access to the medical record. If it's an ER patient, depending on the acuity of what's going on, that information may not be in the medical record. I don't remember specifically looking at this medical record.
And I'll presume then that you had no access or information regarding the health of the mother during her pregnancy.
No, sir.
No access to information or no information at your disposal relating to the overall health of the child in October of 2021 when this child was born.
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. That's all I have for you.
Ms. Bernard.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Dr. Appleton.
Good morning, ma'am.
Okay. So I think I'm looking at the right report that you made, and it's on November 18th, 2021, and it's fairly short. Is that right?
It's pretty short, yes, ma'am.
So it's basically, you've got a paragraph saying that an X-ray bone survey was complete and that it had AP and lateral radiographs of the skull, chest, and spine.
Yes.
Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
And then bilateral oblique radiographs of the ribs and multiple views of the upper and lower extremities, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Comparison, none. You didn't have any other scans to look at, right?
That's correct.
And then history, multiple extremity and torso bruises, right?
Sounds right.
And then your findings, no discrete, acute, healing, or remote fracture. The image superficial soft tissues are grossly normal. Lungs are clear. Non-obstructive bowel gas pattern.
Correct.
Is that like you could see gas, but it was non-obstructive?
Yeah. So when you have a bowel obstruction, things start to back up. The bowel becomes dilated. You can sometimes see that on X-ray.
And were you able to see some gas buildup here?
Nothing abnormal.
Okay.
So you have normal gas in your bowel.
Okay. So is that something that you can tell anything about colic from, or?
Colic is kind of a tricky word. It's more of a colloquialism almost. Folks get diagnosed with colic as just belly pain in a child. Lots of things cause belly pain in a child. Most commonly constipation. You could say gallbladder disease causing colic to somebody.
I think that was the judge.
And you said no radiographic evidence of trauma in your report, right?
That's correct.
Okay. And so would radiographic evidence of trauma be, bleeding building up in the skull, or what would be radiographic evidence of trauma, I guess is my question.
Fractures a big one. That's a big one we're looking for. I'm sorry, y'all, the trees are blooming. Like I said, fractures a big one. Soft
I
tissue
did not
swelling,
have
you see a lot,
allergy attack on the bingo
with,
card.
Skull injuries, may have a skull fracture, and they'll have a bunch of soft tissue swelling around the fracture. You can see injuries to the lungs, like there's something called pneumothorax. It's where you essentially pop your lung, and the lung deflates, and your chest cavity fills with air. It can also fill with blood.
That's what my son
in the setting
had
of
that when he was born.
heming blood. What else are we talking about? X-rays for trauma. Calcifications, abdominal calcifications. So if you get a big abdominal hematoma, then that will calcify over time, indicating a more remote injury.
Okay. And so if I understand you correctly, not trying to put words in your mouth,
I appreciate that.
that if there had been some sort of physical trauma associated with the multiple extremity and torso bruises that you had been advised of, that you would have been able to see some of that soft tissue swelling and blood collection?
So I can't necessarily see, again, there's gradations of hematoma. I've ran into the wall yesterday or something. I got a little bruise on my shoulder. That's technically a hematoma. My mom fell off a horse several years ago and had to have surgery for this massive hematoma in her leg. There's gradations. I'm not going to see this small hematoma from running into the door. I'll probably see some soft tissue swelling from a big one.
Okay. So my sister also got a hematoma from a horse accident as well. So I know those can be very, very painful and traumatic. But so in an infant,
just ask Laura.
If there had been a lot of force causing
No.
and torso bruising.
Shared horse trauma.
We did not have shared horse trauma on the bingo card, unfortunately. That would have been good.
Equine trauma times 2.
Is it reasonable to think you would have picked something up as radiographic evidence of that trauma?
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. I mean, if there's obvious deformity, like I said, with these, skull fracture comes to mind just most easily because you've got thin soft tissue against hard bone. So if that soft tissue starts to swell, it can't swell this way into my skull. It has to swell out. And so if I get trauma to my belly, it will swell out a little bit and it will swell in a little bit, and you may not see it as much on just a plain X-ray.
Well, but did you see any of that at all
No,
on
ma'am.
this X-ray?
No, ma'am.
So nothing whatsoever to suggest that there was trauma to this child.
That's correct.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Did you have any follow-ups with any other doctors or radiologists on this case after November 18th of 2021?
I know just from getting ready for this that Dr. Coleman read the follow-up bone survey that this child had done, and it looked like he called it normal from what I could see.
Okay. And so that was in the past couple of weeks preparing for this trial was when you became aware of that, or was that a comparison that y'all did back in 2021?
It was a comparison from 2021 that he read. So patient came in, I read the first studies, and per our protocol, 10 to 14 days later, we got follow-up radiograph. I say our protocol, I want to say it's Dr. Garcia is our specialist that manages these cases, and she will typically be the one ordering those follow-up x-rays.
Okay. Well, I suppose then my question, did you and Dr. Coleman or Dr. Dixon or anybody at CHOA, did y'all ever discuss your radiologic findings with regards to Jameson Timms?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So were there any conversations you had with any other doctors, medical professionals, social workers, anyone relating to Jameson Timms, or did you read the scan and then come talk to the district attorneys about it?
They came and talked to me.
They came and talked to you.
That was about the extent of my involvement prior to hearing from them.
Okay, so this report is what we've got. There was never any further conversation with anybody else about trying to figure out what's going on with Jameson Timms.
As far as I recall.
Okay, thank you so much. I don't have any other questions for you, doctor.
All right.
I wish they would have asked him when the, state attorney reached out for him, because if it's along the lines of 3 weeks again, I'm going to have a question as to why you waited so long to have these people, talk to.
That's a great question.
Well, but also then remember there was the issue of them sending blood tests out to look for things and underlying causes or whatever, and those weren't going to be back for weeks, and yet they took the baby. Like,
Yeah,
well,
that is
there's a lot of
strange to me.
inconsistencies. There's a lot of inconsistencies. And I also believe when you've got a baby or a child who's hospitalized, why are you removing the parents from the room when they're totally supervised in a hospital? Like there's supervision going on in a hospital. Why do you have to remove them from the premises? Unless, we're talking about they're absolutely suspected or you have evidence that they've been harming the child in the hospital. But if they're just in the hospital with their baby and you're doing an investigation to see whether or not these injuries were accidental or not, why do they have to leave? Why do they have to be out of the hospital? I don't understand that when the child is being watched all the time. In fact, that was the thing I had a real problem with the Kowalski case too. It was like, you have no concern that this woman is doing anything in the hospital. Well, you have no concern over her dad whatsoever, but you put him on visiting hours instead of just letting him be there with his daughter. Why did you do that? Why did he have to be supervised? He wasn't the one being accused of anything. Like the way they behave, separating parents from children. It's like, it's intentional. And it's not for the child's safety. It's for something else. I don't know if it's for their control or power or whatever.
Well,
Yeah.
but in the Maya case, you had, Dr. What's her face, where she made Maya sit on her lap and things that are totally
Gross.
inappropriate and wrong. And I mean, in the Maya case, I mean, they put videos up to prove that she was faking. I mean, what kind of hospital does that? And that's the thing, like you guys see me and I'm on right now. So you don't see me hobbling off screen. And I'm not telling you guys this to like poor me or whatever, because it's just what my leg and body does. But you don't see. So I look like I'm handling this way okay. No, I'm totally faking it, right now. And streaming is fun because it keeps my mind off of it. But you guys don't see the behind the scenes. And
Right.
the fact that these medical professionals were trying to catch a child in a lie just irritates the snot out. I will never stop having and holding a monster hate boner for Coffin Dinger.
Right. Yep.
Now that's
Agreed.
a cahoot. If you want a C word, Coffin Dinger is a cunt, okay? Allegedly in Minecraft. Trademark not, patent pending.
So we have a decision to make here, which is, do we start Dr. Paula Dixon, who is the pediatric radiologist? I don't think we'll get through it today because it's like over an hour long, and I don't know how much time you ladies have today. Do we start it or do we end it now and start and do this on Wednesday? What do you guys think?
Should we put a poll up for chat? Because I can go either way.
Okay, if you guys have the availability, let's talk to chat and see what chat thinks. I think I know what the chat is going to say. Let's see.
I got till 1, and then I gotta do my
Okay.
stream. But
Do we
other than
start
that,
another radiologist?
although I am gonna take my pee break now.
All right, you go do that.
You guys have gotten scared bladder from Mo. I am the social contagion.
All right, the poll is up. Do we start another radiologist? So far, we're at 100% yes. We'll give it a few minutes and see how that goes. Tammy Fayette, thanks for the super chat, says, couple hours behind. Judge Fluxx will demand everyone wear braids, possibly armor. Oh, I like that.
Ooh, combat court. Like
I like
you have to
strap up.
fight your way to the lectern.
You have to get past the bailiff first. Be fantastic. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let's see. So far, we're at 92% on hell yes. I can't believe someone voted no. What do you have going on, you who voted no, that you can't stick around for some more testimony? Let me check super tips. No, it's very sad and lonely in there. There are no super tips. At this rate, we are not turning off ads, folks. That is not happening. You're going to have to put up with all the
You are,
ads.
yeah, you are continuing to get Carnival Cruise, ads.
The ads will continue until super chats improve. Okay, that's where we're at. Look, I have no problem with you guys not sending super chats or super tips. That's fine because we can turn with the ads. We'll pay for it. But you can't have it both ways. Is all I'm saying. Jen says, "I'm still pulling weeds. Keep going." As a HEMA practitioner, I support wearing armor. That's funny. Boob armor or no boob armor? Obviously boob armor. I'm sorry, but I don't know what people's problems with non-boob armor is. If you're a person with boobs, you would know that smushing it down under a flat chest piece is not going to be comfortable.
Yeah,
I
don't
vote
need
for
an
boob
ancient
armor.
mammogram.
Exactly. Where are we at with bingo, by the way? Let me see if I'm close. I don't think I'm close to getting it. Let's pull this up on the screen. All right, I need overruled and Mo hates prosecutor for a bingo this way. I need lazy investigator and we already got the snort. So lazy investigator here for a bingo this way. But yeah, it's still evading me. How are you doing on bingo?
I am doing okay. I need what a biatch, defensive body language. And Megan's blood pressure meds stop working or the state lies. And I feel like that Poncho is a lie because I don't think she knew Pancho Villa, but I don't know if that's a stretch or not.
I think it's a little bit of a stretch. Yeah, we
Yeah.
really haven't caught them. We haven't caught them in any major lies yet that I'm aware of. We would probably have more insight into it if Jennifer were here, but I'm assuming she's listening, so she can chat in if we've missed something major. All right, let's get over to the next. Okay, you guys have voted to continue with 94%. I think we've given you enough time for the poll. We'll end that. Let's get over to the next. This is the children's radiologist, Dr. Paula Dixon. It's always good when
Paula Dean. I was like, "Ooh, is she also going to teach us about banana pudding and like adding butter to stuff?" Because
yeah,
I'm here
how
for
many
it.
sticks of butter will she eat on the stand? Is the question. All right, let's get over
Will she have the
here.
Paula Dean hair though?
No, well, sort of. It kind of looks like a brown football helmet.
Oh no.
Your full name for the record.
Yes, I'm Paula Dixon.
How are you currently employed?
I'm an attending radiologist, pediatric radiologist at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta.
How long have you been a pediatric radiologist?
At least she looks
She's
nice.
she's lying. She's playing Sally Fields in Steel Magnolias,
Yes.
the
Yes.
town theater. She's like, it looks like a brown football helmet.
Yes.
You're right.
I am going to slow it down a little bit back to normal because she talks fast.
It's 1992.
And can you tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you got your bachelor's and what specialty did you get your bachelor's in?
Yes, I got my bachelor's at Clemson University in zoology.
Zoology?
Zoology.
I did.
Where
Wait,
did you attend?
wait, what? What now? What now?
I leaned over to pet my cat. What?
Her bachelor's is from Clemson and it's in zoology.
She's a zoologist. What?
Did she want to be a veterinarian and then got confused or realized
Wait
she
a
didn't
minute.
like pets?
Wait, she just decided then not to go into zoology and then went to med school or something? What? Okay, I guess. But I'm already taking points off. I'm taking points off for this.
I mean, we all call children little animals, but like this might be going to the extreme with that.
But how do you go from zoology to pediatrics exactly?
Well, I mean, at least she didn't say creative writing. like
lesbian poetry.
Like I'm a theater kid major. Just
Medical college.
I went to the Medical University of South Carolina in Charleston.
Where did you do your residency?
Residency was University of Maryland in Baltimore.
And what specialty was your residency done in?
Diagnostic radiology.
And did you do a fellowship?
I did.
And what was your fellowship in?
My fellowship is in pediatric radiology at Emory University.
Is your specialty only pediatric radiology at this point?
That's right.
Do you have any certifications?
Yes, I have a certification of added qualification in pediatric radiology, which is taken after my boards in diagnostic radiology.
Are you licensed to practice medicine in any state?
Georgia.
What professional organizations do you belong to?
I belong to the Society for Pediatric Radiology, the Academy, the American Academy of Pediatrics, the American Rick and Ray Society, the American College of Radiology, and the Radiological Society of North America.
I wonder how many of those organizations have to sacrifice a small child to get in.
To any professional journal?
At least 2.
I subscribe to the journals of all of those societies.
Approximately.
Do they hand out the adrenochrome when you go to the meetings?
Not to this lady.
I know you won't have an exact number, no one ever does, but approximately how many x-rays and scans and surveys have you read over the course of your career?
As far as skeletal surveys go, probably about 1,500. As far as chest x-rays, around 114, 115,000.
115,000?
Mm-hmm.
And
Chad,
I don't know if she's bad or not. I don't know. She's not the one I warned you about.
Of any kind. Probably about 100.
Of any kind. She's funny.
She's one of those people where she has like the really nice face, but like when she gets you alone in a room, it like opens up and turns into a giant mouth.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what her story is exactly, but I do. She's not the one I warned you about. I warned you about Dr. Verena Brown. She's the child abuse pediatrician that I am aware of who has multiple lawsuits against her for doing this to other families. I've been following her for quite a while. Dr. Verena Brown has a very checkered past in history. So this woman, I don't know at all. She seems nice enough. She seems like she's read a lot of radiology, surveys or whatever. 100,000, that's quite a lot. I'm not doubting her at this point. I don't know. I just think it's possible for doctors to be wrong, even good doctors. That's what I think.
180,000.
Have you testified as an expert before?
I have.
Your Honor, at this point in time, the state would tender Dr. Paula Dixon as an expert in pediatric radiology.
Any objection, Mr. Hood? Ms. Bernard?
No objection, Your Honor.
She'll be admitted for that purpose.
Dr. Dixon, how was a skeletal survey conducted at the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta? And I will call it CHOA from now on, but I did want to say the full name.
Right. Yes, our skeletal surveys are done in accordance with the guidelines from the American Board of Radiology. So we take 2 views of the skull, we take a chest film, and then 2 oblique images, we get side views of the spine, and then we take a frontal view of chest, abdomen, pelvis, and then frontal views of each bone of the arms and legs, upper arm, lower arm, hands, and upper leg, lower leg, feet.
Once the survey is actually completed, how is the process set up at the Children's Healthcare to review those scans?
Yes, we double read every scan, which means 2 of us read it. Each of us reads it separately. Then we convene, decide what is the proper diagnosis, the proper findings, and then it's dictated.
Okay. So you're the person that signed off at the report, but 2 people actually look at it before you're allowed to sign off on the report?
That's right.
Are you allowed to communicate with the other person that's reading the scan?
Not until after we've both looked at it. We don't tell each other what we thought until we've both had time to look at it, and then we put our heads together after that.
If there is a difference in opinion,
And then
how is that resolved?
We don't tell each other anything until after, and then we put our heads together and collude against parents.
Right. If there's a difference in opinion, we talk about it with each other. We may ask the other radiologists that are working with us that day, get their opinion. And if it's something that we're not sure of, we will say that in the dictation, follow it up in 2 weeks.
Okay. I'm going to call your attention to January the 14th of 2022. And it's just so that we're clear, we've submitted 4 different sets. I want to focus right now on that second set, the full skeletal survey. Did you read the
Wait,
complete
is that the
skeletal
judge?
survey?
I think that's the judge's microphone. The judge forgot that her micro. Okay, weird court noises. Both times there have been weird court noises. It has been the judge both times. The last time she was opening up a Werther's candy or something. Remember?
Oh yeah.
So weird court. We're going with the judge hot mic. Next time I'm putting hot mic on the bingo card because that's clearly going to happen.
Okay, also, did you guys pick up that they are basically their standard operating procedure is to irradiate the hell out of these children? Because if they disagree, even if they disagree, then you are put it for a follow-up in about 2 weeks. So how many times are they x-raying these children? How many times do they disagree? Again, it's this lack of kind of transparency in the overall numbers. So we don't know how many kids and what their rate of disagreement is on these type of cases where you're still going to have follow-ups because of the 10 to 14 day kind of calcification pattern. It just seems like a lot of x-raying.
It is.
Agreed.
You know what I would like to see more of is a police investigation. We're talking about a crime. We're talking about child abuse. Where are the police investigating like this? I know that they did, and I'm sure we're going to see him later, but I mean, it's like, is this all left up to the doctors? Shouldn't the law enforcement have something to say about it? Like, hey, we know that what the standard of evidence is, and we don't have it here. So you're going to have to let this one go. How about that?
See, that's what I'm wondering. If we take out the child aspect and we're just looking at this like an assault case, you're being charged with assault and battery. What do you need evidence to prove your case of assault and battery? Why is that not being followed in these cases? Why is it just automatic? Oh, you're assaulted.
Well, if some doctors think so, there's nothing we can do.
Especially with the sort of accelerated thing and there being an officer there to, remove them from the premises, you think at that point, if there's enough to bring an officer in, they would take over the case. Is it because the officers don't understand medical jargon, so they expect DCYF to take care of that and then break it down and present them with a case rather than doing this?
I think what you're going to find out in this case is that it's worse than that. It's everybody passed the buck, and it all ends up on the doctors. DCF is like, we can't do anything but other than what the doctors tell us. And the cops are like, yeah, we it's not our job. It's theirs. We're not doctors. They said it was a crime, so we arrested them. Like, what? No, the police are the investigating body, not doctors, which is why child abuse pediatricians are so dangerous because they are given police powers. They should never have police powers. Police are the only ones who should have police powers because they are held to a standard. What standard are child abuse pediatricians held to? I couldn't even tell you. I don't know, but I do know what the standard is for cops. They have to have reasonable suspicion of this, and and there's a definition of that in the law, and they don't use it in this case.
They have to put in a probable cause affidavit. I mean, there's a lot. It's still a lower thing. I mean, which is why you do see like people say you can indict a ham sandwich, but there are some standards. There are some hoops and some hurdles that are required for due process to be observed. And with these kind of cases, we don't have those.
Jen, the couch fairy, says yes, but they don't disclose that they have to review 2,000 x-rays, but they all come from just 6 children.
Yeah,
no kidding.
That's how it seems. Hey, Rosalyn Duke is with us. She made it.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hello. I was like, am I muted? Okay.
No, you're not muted. How's it going?
It's going well.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, yes, the 2,000 x-rays, but all coming from 6 children is really something. Nobody's Perfect 76 says it took them 3 years, 6 different x-rays, and 3 other scans before they caught my DDD. What's DDD?
Degenerative disc disease, maybe?
Oh, Wow, that's a lot of x-rays. And
Either
that's a
that or
long
really
time.
big boobs. Which could cause back problems too.
That's
so.
true. That's true. That's true. They do miss a lot of stuff, and it's just not right. It's not right, I tell you.
Service day that was conducted of Jameson Timms.
Yes, I did.
And were there any findings that were pertinent to this case?
Yes, there were 3 healing posterior rib fractures that are in the back, and then a compression fracture of one of the vertebral bodies.
Okay. Your Honor, at this point in time, I would ask that Dr. Dixon be allowed to come down and select the image that best represents what she's trying to show and literally show us where she saw these
Okay.
injuries.
And do you need the TV screen to be turned on, Ms.
After
Fox?
she gets down, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Doctor, you can step down from the witness stand. If you'll just go over there with Ms. Fox, please, at the podium.
The doctor does have nice hair. I do like the doctor's hair, though. I think it's really nice. It's styled well. It's a good length for it to be down. It looks nice.
It has popped
Nothing
up.
wrong with it.
on June, but if you'll go back to January.
I know,
and then
everyone's
find
dressed up like the
these
flag.
Scans that best represent what
or a couch.
Okay. Let's
blanket.
see. I might need help to go back to that set. Yes, here, this is the June set. So we're looking for the January.
Why is that bailiff holding on to the light switch?
Because he's going to turn the lights off as soon as they get the
You
thing
have
on the
to be
TV.
ready.
Do you like the cape, Rosalyn?
I
Do you
love
like
the blanket. I like the
that
blanket
the
look.
prosecutor is wearing her witch cape in trial? Like, we didn't even have to guess this time.
All
I
right,
heard that. I was
so,
listening earlier. I was laughing.
Do you want me to show the findings from
Yes,
this
please.
case? Okay. Let me pull down.
Yes, ma'am.
to-
We need the findings for this case.
And Ms. Fox, if you'll identify those when you get to the scan that you're looking at.
I'll need to pull January.
Let's see if I can. Okay. And is there a magnification? Okay.
She does have a very good cadence when speaking also.
Fluxx, I can't hear you all of a sudden. I don't know why. Is it the white
Am I-
noise?
Here we go.
Hello?
Right, so
Yes,
Okay,
now I can hear you.
Time out just a second.
Okay.
Let Ms. Fox catch up with you on her.
Whenever they switch microphones and then there's like this white noise or something that is just overpowering.
Is this the one that you're looking at?
that's correct.
Your Honor, for the record, it'll be 6GG.
Carrie Timms looking beautiful in court.
Yes.
Absolutely gorgeous. I'm sure that the jury, that did not hurt with the jury, how pretty she is and how innocent looking she is. I found her, actually, her mugshot on, it was on Facebook the other day, and it was from years ago, but I found it, and her mugshot is just so heartbreaking because she's just looking into the camera like, you've got to be kidding me. And I really felt she should be heartened because underneath her mugshot on this website, there were so many people who were saying, I know Carrie Timms, this woman did not do this. I know her. There's no possible way that she did this. She had a lot of support from her community of people coming forward and saying there is just no way in hell that she is guilty of these crimes. So that was nice for her. But her mugshot is really, it's heartbreaking.
Okay. And are you ready for this to be displayed to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury? Okay. So the witness is looking at 6GG, which is going to be displayed on the television screen for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
I'll go back to my same question because we spent a moment doing that, but can you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you identified the rib fracture specifically in this film?
Yes. So what we're looking at, this is the rib, the back of the rib coming around to the front. So you can see there's a little dent, a little white, looks like a little ball involving the back of each of these ribs, 1, 2, and 3 ribs. And that's a healing callus. When you compare the opposite side, that's a normal rib. You come over to this side, you see that little round white ball, and that's just the healing rib.
Okay, and could we make that bigger so that it'll be
Yes.
very clear?
Let's see. Let's see if I can. Let's see. I might just do it again. I'll get it that magnified. There you go. That's it. Perfect.
And then
what, now that it's larger, can you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where you've identified the callus on the rib?
Yes, yes. So we've got rib 8, 9, and 10 that you can see better now that it's magnified, how they look different from the opposite sides. So that's what we're looking at. 1, 2, and 3.
Which would be rib number 8, 9, and 10.
8, 9, and 10.
And is that 8, 9, and 10 the medical terminology for those particular ribs?
Yes.
Okay. And you indicated that it is posterior. Would
Correct.
that be the part that is closer to the spine or closer to the front of the body?
Yes, closer to the spine.
Okay. And you also had kind of showed a little bit when it was the smaller photo what the rib direction would go. Can you follow it
Mhm.
along now that it's larger so the jury can understand what you're talking about?
Yes. So we're looking at the back of the rib here that's joining, articulated with the spine, and then the rib comes around laterally and anteriorly, so to the side and then the front. So this is the back of the rib just as it articulates with, this is called the transverse process of that vertebral body of the spine.
And the callus itself, can you use the arrow to kind of circle where the
Yes.
callus itself is?
Yes, so here's one here, up here. And this one is not quite as bulbous as the other two. That's it.
So on a callus, can you explain to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury when you would expect to see a callus forming in relation to when the break actually occurs?
Yes, 10 to 14 days is when we start seeing this new bone, this callus formation.
And in connection with your viewing of these scans, did you look to any other source for a comparison?
Yes, so I asked to have the skeletal survey that was obtained at Erlanger in November for comparison.
And for what purpose were you using it as a comparison?
Bridget in the chat wants to know, how and when did DCF get so much power? You know, in this case, we should be asking, how and when did child abuse doctors get so much power? Because actually, the DCF caseworker, April Hunt, she wasn't going to recommend removing this child. She saw no problem. There was no safety risk. There was nothing. She saw nothing. She reported that everything was fine at their house. And somehow the child abuse doctor and the pediatrician colluded together to get the supervisor, who never even visited the family, to call in and say they need to take this baby immediately to CHOA and we're going to take custody. So we don't even, to me, the real problem in Georgia right now and in a lot of places in America is that these child abuse pediatricians have more power than DCF. You know what? Sally Smith did it too. Sally Smith, DCF in Florida in the Kowalski case wasn't good. They said it wasn't child abuse. When they called it in the first time from Johns Hopkins, DCF was like, nope, there's nothing here. We can't do anything about it. And that's when Sally Smith got involved, and she basically made it fit. And she built a case to make DCF have to take custody. So the question really is, what's with these child abuse pediatricians and why do they have more power than DCF? DCF should never be conceding their power to some child abuse doctor somewhere. That's crazy. They should go by their own regulations and rules, which in the case of Kowalski and in this case, they should have left them alone. But they didn't.
See, and it's like, I want so badly to sit down with these people candidly and be like, what made you think you knew better? Like, what in your brain? Because on the stand, they're not doing it. Well, you know, there's injuries. Well, what in your brain, what in your all-powerful, all-knowing, godlike wisdom brain said this is abuse?
Right.
Because what? Like, literally.
Yeah, do you have
what?
any witness testimony that anyone has ever seen Carrie or Brady Timms being rough or manhandling or abusing their baby? No? Well then, goodbye.
Like what?
And this is such a subjective thing. There really needs to be a standard, like ballistics has a very kind of, logical, characteristic class marks, and then they go into,
Right.
this is a subset. So because it is so subjective, because these are doctors looking for this particular thing, there should be a confirmation bias sort of protocol, which you take this to an independent doctor. The independent doctor has to look at it. And then if they agree, then, we go forward. But it again, if your job is dependent on you finding child abuse, you're going to find child abuse.
Yep, you're
Right.
going to find it. Absolutely. Jameson 2012, thanks for the 2, says COVID showed how much power bad doctors have. Oh yeah, they gave way more power, and we have not wrangled it back from them yet. This is the thing. We're going to have to do some serious work in this country to get our power back from the doctors, because they took over. The health departments took over. These unelected bureaucrats took over, and doctors have way more power. Doctors should never have the power to keep you from a dying loved one, ever.
Yes.
That should never be a thing. That should never be allowed under any circumstances. Should any doctor be able to keep loved ones out of a hospital when they want to say goodbye to their loved one? That's absurd. And yet we allowed it. It just happened. And now they can kick you out for any reason or keep you out for any. It's crazy. It's crazy. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do.
Have you seen those signs in the hospitals now? Like, if you use any like harsh language,
Oh yeah,
or if
we
you
will not
raise your voice
tolerate.
at all, we're kicking you out.
Yeah, we will not tolerate belligerence. And I'm like, really? Well, let me give you the list of the things I will not tolerate. How about that? Let's compare our lists of things that we will not tolerate. I will not tolerate belligerent nurses. How about that? I will not tolerate nurses who treat me like garbage. I will not tolerate doctors who talk down to me. I will not tolerate a lot of things. Let's have our little list off of things that we will not tolerate. I'm so tired of it. Whose money are you getting to run this place? I think it's mine.
Yeah.
I think
pressure.
it's mine. Oh shit. God damn it. You got it going. So yep, blood pressure meds not working.
The whole God complex of 2020 just it's too out of control. And
Every time I hear that, I think
how
of
we
that
talk at
movie.
this point.
Remember Malice with Alec Baldwin? And they're like,
I've
you have
never
a
seen
God complex. And he's like, I don't have a God complex. I am God.
I can see that Alec Baldwin wasn't acting. He's more, that was just art imitating life.
He probably improvised that line.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a good movie.
We like to see any old films. Always helps radiology to see what's been going on before, how the bone looked before, was there fracture there at all, and I also had seen a vertebral body fracture. I wanted to see if that had been there.
Okay, I'm going to stay on the ribs first. Did you note any breaks at all on the ribs on the Erlanger scan?
No breaks there.
And in connection, I'll go now to the compression fracture. Can you show the ladies and gentlemen of the jury where the compression fracture is on Jameson?
Yes.
And then I will pull out the photo match.
Sure. Let's see. Let me find the. Here it is, the lateral spine. So again, I may need help with this magnification.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let Miss Fox pull the one out of the.
That might be it.
You think they would have prepped this
Yeah, it's
beforehand?
going to be 6H8.
They never do.
6HH is what is being displayed
It's always
on
a
the
surprise.
screen in the
Yeah.
courtroom to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
And again, can you show us where the compression fracture would be on that scan?
Yes. Get you to just magnify a little bit so the middle of the film is bigger. There we go.
Is that okay?
Now this one is really
good.
kind of nebulous
So,
to me.
This
You'll let me
vertebral
know what
body
you
is
think.
just a little shorter than the others. If you look at the height, we're looking at the spine from the side. And so the height of this vertebral body is shorter. It's compressed compared to the others.
And did you measure what it measured?
That is so slight of a difference that
Yeah.
It's
I mean, I'm
so,
not a
like, small.
radiologist. I'm not a radiologist, but I mean, we're looking at, look, this is what she's talking about. So the distance between here and here and here and here is different by a hair between here and here and here and here.
Well,
So
and that
this,
particular one is kind of obstructed by either the liver or whatever is behind it. I'm better at
But also, I
ultrasounds.
mean, it's a baby. They're going to be
Yeah.
wiggling. I just don't.
and growing and everything else. Like how, now I don't know if Carrie's still in the chat. Maybe Carrie will let us know. Did he actually have this compression fracture, or was this ever proven that there wasn't one, or it was just a bad photo or whatever? But I mean, my goodness, that is a really slight difference. But okay, maybe that's how you diagnose compression fractures. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. But to me, I could see the things on the healing bones on the ribs very easily. You could see those circles
Yeah.
on the ends. You could see that calcification or whatever. That was very easy to see. This, on the other hand, is not convincing me. If I'm on the jury and I see this, I'm throwing this out. I'm like, I mean, I realize I'm not a medical expert, but that's what the jury is for. The jury is for to look at the evidence and go, we either believe this evidence or we don't. And I think this is far too subjective as far as like, well, it's really not clear that there's any
Yeah.
injury here at all.
I mean, unless she's really able to clearly define how you would notice that beyond, it's slightly smaller, y'all. You
Well, yeah,
know,
she does a measurement and it's like 6 millimeters in comparison to like, I don't know, 7 or 8. Like, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Like, what constitutes the actual disc degeneration? Like, at what point does it, at
or
what many
compression.
millimeters does it
So
become
this is allegedly a
whatever.
compression. So a compression fracture, I guess. But I see no fracture of anything. I just see a smaller space than in the others, but it's not even that much smaller. So, yeah, right. Norma says, but the spine is not straight. If the child leans more to one side, it's going to be compressed. Right. I would think it would depend on how you're sitting.
But that's
Well,
why they
and aren't
put
they
those
having to hold
babies
his
in those
arms up?
torture devices. That's why
Yeah.
they do the
Right.
baby torture device, and they put
Oh,
him in
they-
this little tank, and it's like,
Oh, that's
it
awful.
squeezes them in. Yeah, but it's still like, it still will allow. I mean, they're gonna
Yeah.
wiggle and move. You
Well,
can't.
even just crying. I mean, just
Well,
crying
yeah.
from being in there would make them like move.
Yeah, like breathing will shift it.
Well, yeah,
But
and
I hate
those
and
rooms are
that's
usually
why.
cold and
Yeah.
scary and loud.
Uncomfortable and scary, and this poor kid didn't have his parents. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but this, if I'm in the jury, I'm like, yeah, I'm not taking this one.
I'm hating the hospital for what they did to the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Review the scan.
Yes.
What measurement does it have on January the 14th when you are reviewing the scan?
So I measured 6 millimeters.
Did you compare it to the scans that were done at Erlanger in November?
Yes.
What measurement did T10 have in November?
It measured 8.
So it lost 2 millimeters in height?
That's correct.
Is it the only vertebrae that lost height?
Yes.
At this point in time, may she return to the witness stand and we'll keep going?
Okay.
Didn't they see T11 in opening and now it's T10?
I think it was 8, 9, and 10.
But I think
Wasn't
in
it?
the opening they did say 9, 10, and 11.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get their story straight with what numbers of ribs or spinal column we're talking about here.
You indicated that you have viewed numerous scans at Children's Healthcare in connection with a number of different. Have you seen compression fractures in your work there at CHOA?
I have.
What most often is a cause of a compression fracture on the scans that you are viewing where there is a known cause?
Right.
I'm going to object, Your Honor. At this point, she hasn't been admitted as an expert in causation of any of these items, and so I think it's asking this witness to go well beyond the evidence.
Agreed.
I'll sustain that objection based upon you can lay a foundation.
Do you get scans at CHOA where you know the cause of the injury? For example, you know the child's been in a car wreck. You know the child's fallen from a high distance.
We do.
In comparison to the known causes,
Is there anything unusual about the location of the compression fracture on Jameson?
Yes. The fact that there's only one, it's at a point of the spine where if there's hyperflexion, that vertebral body can fracture. And it's unusual in this age child.
Okay. What is hyperflexion?
When you bend at the waist more than you normally would.
Okay. Does that matter which way it's bent, whether it's backwards or forwards?
And hyperflexion is when you bend forward, hyperextension is when you bend backwards. And it can be one or both.
Okay, but they said fracture, not degeneration or not compression.
Have you had an occasion through the
And not
course
only
of your
that,
career
kids
No,
are
to
they
bendy.
said
view X-ray?
they said compression fracture.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to say here. What, someone burped the baby too hard? I
So they
don't know.
bent him forward to such a degree that his vertebrae compressed. Now, is that something that you would have to hold for a long time to?
Yeah, I'd like to know how this injury happens.
mean,
In their imagination, how does this happen?
Well,
Yeah, so they immediately, yes, Sean, they immediately went to abuse instead of seeking out disease. Yes. Because they're lazy and they don't want to do their job. They're lazy and they don't want to. And it turns out that, spoiler alert, she is allowed to go get a second opinion at Boston Children's. And it turns out that she and Jameson both have Ehlers-Danlos, which explains everything. But they wouldn't take that. DCF just continued to go forward. Even after getting a diagnosis of Ehlers-Danlos, they refused, and the prosecutor decided to keep on prosecuting this case.
That should be like
Illegal.
Illegal.
Yeah, I
You're
mean,
right.
right to jail, right away.
Right to jail. And they should have to get the highest penalty for taking citizens' rights away.
Right. In my fantasy world, that's the electric chair or a rope.
Of children that have broken their ribs during childbirth.
I have not.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity?
Oh, wait.
What? X-rays of children that have broken their ribs during childbirth.
I have not.
Okay. Have you had an opportunity to look at children with known causes of broken ribs? For example, the high-speed car crash, things of that nature, or
Yes.
something falling on a child, things of that nature.
Yes.
Is there anything about the location of these fractures that is consistent or inconsistent with, for example, a known cause of a high-speed car crash?
The posterior fractures, the ones in the back, are very unique. They don't usually occur from accidents, as you were talking about. It's the rib where it rubs against the spine will fracture if there has been some squeezing of the chest. It doesn't usually occur when somebody falls off the bed or is in an accident.
So now we're squeezing the baby.
I'm
We're
pretty
squeezing. We're squeezing, and bending the baby over and squeezing. Wait, are we taking the rump and the back and squeezing together? Like how? What?
I think Jennifer said their theory was that he was squeezed essentially just for a long period of time. And I remember somebody saying something about their theory was that the baby was squeezed.
Fluxx, I'm not an expertologist, but I've given birth to 6 kids, and I do believe contractions involve squeezing. I mean, what do I know?
See, I've never given birth, so I'm not sure, but I'll take your word for it.
I can confirm that that birth and contractions definitely have a large amount of squeezing involved, and for prolonged periods of time.
Yes.
That was going to be my next question. Is it for any length of time?
For quite a long period of time, over several hours, sometimes days. And in Jameson's case, it was 3 days. 3 days of labor.
With
and
pitocin.
squeezing.
And Pitocin significantly ramps up the length and duration along with the intensity of contractions.
Now, did you notice that we were not allowed to see the x-rays from, what was it, November?
Yeah. How come we didn't see those x-rays?
How come they
those
didn't
weren't
show
entered?
them to us? Because if he had birth injuries, I would assume we would see something, although I could be wrong. But why didn't we see those? How come the only x-rays that we have been shown are the January ones?
Because they're the ones they want you to see.
Yeah, this is the state's case. Hopefully we'll get to see the other ones in the defense's case.
Indicated that the measurement in November was 8 millimeters. The measurement in January is 6 millimeters, which means you can show the compression. What was the measurement in June?
In June, it was 9.
What?
So at that point, it was considered healed?
Yes.
When you viewed the x-rays, did you see any thing that would be consistent with an anomaly in the bone formation?
No, the bones look normal.
Specifically as to T10, did you see any evidence of a solitary lesion of histiocytosis X?
No.
What is that?
Okay. Histiocytosis X, you have histiocytes, which are types of blood cells that invade the bone. And with that, you usually see lytic lesions, like a hole in the bone, which I didn't see anywhere in the body. And they can have one vertebral body that just collapses. Usually it collapses more like a triangle, more in the front, not in the back. But we don't see that usually under the age of 5, and we don't see it without other changes of histiocytosis.
What other changes would we look for?
The more of the holes in the bone, like somebody just
But
punched a hole
that's
in the bone.
irrelevant because you said you don't see them before the age of 5, and this is an infant.
Right. Well, what they're doing is setting up to debunk whatever the defense is going to say.
Well,
The
I
defense
know.
must be offering that as some possibility,
Mhm.
which is why they're like, well, did you see any evidence of this thing? And then the defense is going to try to convince you of later. That's what they're
Yeah,
doing.
that's the ish that pisses me off because again, if you listen to the thing and you're very paying attention, you hear the part about them not being able to see this on x-rays until the age of 5.
Mhm.
But she's going to say, like, we didn't see anything. And unless you're paying attention,
Right.
and realizing that this is at this point, 3-month-old baby, that, yeah, you're
Right.
not going to see it.
Well, Marco, it's kind of neither here nor there because Marco says if I was a juror, I'd have fallen asleep by now. So maybe they're not even listening. That would be great if they were
She does
sleeping
have
through
a
the
very
state's
calming
case.
voice. I'd have
does.
maybe caught naptosis.
Naptosis.
T10 in particular, that would show that it was a failure of formation.
No.
Was it helpful that the previous scan did show it at a normal height?
Yes. That's why we like to compare.
Did you see anything that would show a I can't talk right this second, I'm sorry, developmental anomaly?
No.
Okay. Were there any other findings that were pertinent to this case?
No.
Okay. I'm going to call your attention to February the 3rd of 2022. Were
Nothing?
you also the pediatric radiologist that read those scans for Choa?
Yes, I was.
Specifically as to the ribs, what did you notice that was different by February than it was in January?
Yes, we can no longer see that callus formation, those little dense balls at the back of those ribs that had remodeled and healed.
Okay. So the language for a healing bone would be called remodeling.
Exactly.
So when it's broken, it calluses, then it kind of goes back to normal looking at some point?
Right. Mm-hmm.
How long generally would that process take in a rib?
Usually in a rib, by 2 or 3 months, we should see it look nice and normal.
Okay. And February 3rd, for sure, it's completely normal.
Right.
What about T10? Could you still see any compression fracture noted in T10 in February?
Yes. Okay.
And did you specifically look at T10?
Yes.
Based on the fact that T10 has not healed and the ribs have healed, does that help us or not help us in determining whether this is one injury to the child or two injuries?
Mhm. It doesn't help much in this case, only because the vertebral body fractures heal a little differently than a rib fracture would. Since they're compressed, it's a different type of fracture. So it's a little tougher to say, did it occur at the same time, as if we were comparing callus formation.
Okay. Specifically as to the ribs, and I want to ask this question very carefully. If there is no fracture at all shown on November the 21st, but there is or November 18th, I guess is when it was actually done, there is a fracture observed when you're there on January the 14th. Is it fair to say that the fracture occurred in that time frame?
Yes.
Okay, you indicated you would expect it to be 7 to 10 days before you can even see the callus. Would it also be fair to say we need to back 7 to 10 days off the time frame for the rib fractures?
I'm sorry, would you say it one more time?
If it takes 7 to 10 days to see the callus.
Not another time. I'm already nodding off. I'm going to pull a Jeff. I was like, okay, don't close your eyes. Don't close your eyes.
Don't do it.
And you're
Don't
gonna,
do it.
You're going to be snoring in a minute. No, don't repeat questions.
Callus at all. So on January 14th, it couldn't have happened on the 13th because you've got defined calluses.
Exactly.
It couldn't happen on the 12th. We've got to back it
up.
Least the 7 to 10 days at a minimum.
Right.
But based on the fact that it was healed in February, would you expect it to back up further than the minimum I just stated?
Yes.
Because it's resolved in
Because now
February.
it's resolved.
Same set of questions for the compression fracture. If there is no compression fracture at all visible on the November scans, and the compression fracture itself means it's squunched, so you would have been able to see it had it been there, correct?
Correct.
It's not
Squunched? Did she just say squunched?
She did. Does this Cahoon think she's Mo and she can make up her own words? Because she has not been granted that.
I want to see. Well, I want to see what the captions, how the captions do it.
It's squunched, so
Squished?
you would have been able.
Squunched.
I'm saving that for Scrabble because I've never seen a W word.
Come on, that's not a word. That's not a word. Look, the universe provides. Just when I was getting ready to fall asleep, I got squunched.
Is that
Oh my
like
God,
a
we
mix
need to make that a
between
t-shirt.
and crunch?
Oh my God, this is an actual word.
It is?
No, wait.
No.
Wait.
In
Hold
Urban
on.
Dictionary or the Real Dictionary?
I'm looking. Hold on. It came out it came up in some blog called Squunched. In this case, and arriving. It says I love trying to read a book in Kindle after hours of reading this and that on the web and arriving at a word. In this case, squunched. Clicking on it and via Google, escaping back onto the web, going here and there, liberated by squunched, defying the order of things once again. Not reading a book, unless you call that reading a book, but I will squunch myself back in there in that Kindle book. Just playing it, trying to read until I see the sign for the next off ramp. So, okay, squunch is a word, and it really is with two U's. I don't know. This person has not given me a definition yet.
We need to call Sarah Boone. She'd know this.
Why isn't there?
When
a
was it first
definition?
used and by whom?
How come this
Right?
Because I
person
like
has
them.
not-
Ben
This person sounds
Franklin,
like a
and at the
mix.
Declaration of Independence, he's like, "Squunch off, King George."
Okay, the Cambridge Dictionary has squinch, but it doesn't look like the Cambridge Dictionary has squunched. Hold on, we have to find definition of this. Come on.
As is to squunched, as
Actually, maybe
onomatopoeia as is
wait.
to.
Maybe it is a variation of squinch because yes, it must be the past tense version of squinch because it's not coming up under squunch, but then
Squunched?
It's the past imperfect form.
It's yeah.
It's not coming up anywhere. I can't find it except in that one blog.
I'll ask Grok.
Ask Grok. 2
Yeah,
U's,
Grok will
Rosalyn.
know.
2 U's. Squunched. Oh my God. My life
Squunched.
just took an entirely new turn. There is a word with 2 U's. We're going to be Scrabble champs, Mo.
I know.
Scrabble champs with this word. A Q and 2 U's? Holy God,
Yes.
we've hit the jackpot.
And
It
it's
says-
not a
it
name brand
says-
because Quiznos is banned.
Grok says that the term squunched is a non-standard informal word, likely a playful or colloquial variation of scrunched, or a blend of similar terms. It generally
Oh.
describes something that is squeezed, compressed, or crumpled tightly together.
So that doesn't work because colloquialisms aren't allowed in Scrabble. But how come it's
Damn.
spelled with, how come everyone who writes it with 2 U's? I feel like this word exists somewhere, Mo, and we need to find it.
I feel like this needs to be a presidential, edict. And when I am president, squunched is totally a thing. Squunch is
Excellent.
happening, fetch may not.
Able to see it had it been there, correct?
Correct.
It's not where you're looking for a callus, you're noticing the difference in height.
Right. Mhm.
Is it fair to say that the compression fracture occurred between his discharge date from Erlanger and the presentation at CHOA?
Yes.
If hypothetically there were scans that you didn't view that occurred on December the 8th that did not show rib fractures and did not show a compression fracture, would we use the same analysis to shorten that time frame of when they
Yes.
could have occurred?
Yes.
I want to go ahead and ask you a few more questions. In your opinion, based on the healing stages, would this have been birth related?
No.
Why not?
Well, if it were birth related and the child was born in October,
then we would
then
look
again,
really
we would start
stupid.
seeing callus formation much sooner. We should have seen callus formation by the first set of films in November. And we didn't. And so the time frame is not correct for the healing process.
Is the pattern different in a birth related broken rib injury?
No.
When rib fractures would have been, let me ask that a different way. Were there any other tests needed to confirm the skeletal survey as to the compression injury?
No.
Why not?
Having the original film was key because I could see that there was a change. And then we do bring the kids back 2 weeks later, still was compressed. So it would have been more difficult if I hadn't had the first comparison.
Okay. You viewed the November 18th, 21 scans from Erlanger and the January 13th, 22 scans and February 3rd, 22 scans, and then you looked at the June scans as well from CHOA.
Yes.
Did you see any evidence at all of metabolic bone disease?
No.
What is metabolic bone disease?
There are several kinds. Some people will talk about rickets, where you don't have the proper mineralization of the bone. The bone is very not as dense. And we see, do you want me to say what we see with some of these? That's one type of metabolic bone disease. Another type is osteogenesis imperfecta, where you don't have the proper collagen, which is more of the framework of the bone. And both of those could cause the bones to be less dense.
Have you had children present at CHOA with osteogenesis imperfecta?
Yes.
Have you reviewed their scans?
Yes.
Do you know what it looks like when you see it?
Yes.
Did you see any evidence
Prove
of
it.
that in Jameson scans?
No, I did not.
Specifically, did you see any flared anterior rib ends?
No.
Did you look?
Yes.
Were they normal or not normal?
Normal.
Did you see any cupping of the radius and ulna on the right?
No.
What is the radius and ulna?
Yes. So the radius and ulna are the bones of the forearm, and you can have a little shallow concavity, a little cupping of the distal ulna, and it's just a normal variant. We see that all the time. But cupping with with rickets, it's a very deep cupping. You get fraying, almost like you'd see on cut off blue jeans where the threads are pulled out. You see that. And it's a metabolic bone disease. It's not just one wrist, one joint. It's multiple joints.
And did you view all the joints when you were doing your initial analysis?
Yes.
Did you review them in preparation for court today?
Yes.
Did you know anything that you missed the first time through?
No.
Did you see any rough trabecular pattern or cortical tunneling in the forearms?
No.
What does that mean?
So the trabecula are again, kind of the framework of the bone, little lines we see in the bone on an x-ray. And if you do have a metabolic bone disease, if the bones are a little bit fragile, those will stand out. You can almost draw them. Whereas with a normal bone, you can't really pick them out like that. And the cortex is the edge of the bone. It's a nice white line, and that can become thinned if there's a metabolic bone disease, but this was not thinned.
Did you note any multiple vertical lucent lines on the rib fractures?
No.
What would that have looked like if they were present?
Those are called looser zones, and you can see that sometimes if the bone is not dense enough, but they are a wider lucency or like a black line through a bone with white edges. I didn't see anything like that.
Did you review them in preparation for court?
Yes.
Did you see them when you reviewed it?
No.
Did you know anything on the skeletal survey that would negate
Skeletal
a finding a metabolic bone disease?
She's getting tired too.
Basically, if somebody says he has it, what about his survey lets you know that's not a
She
fact?
also said initial.
The fact
instead of
that
initial.
there were,
Initial.
again, no cupping or fraying of the joints, the bones of the joints. I didn't see any anterior flaring of the ribs where they could look a little bit more cupped than they should.
Diet squunch.
I didn't see anything
drink
called
the hell out of
Wormian
that.
bones. With some of the metabolic bone diseases, the osteogenesis imperfecta, we may see these little, almost like a little puzzle of tiny bones at the back of the skull. None of that, just normal bones.
Is there such a condition as temporary brittle bone disease?
That is not a true entity.
Okay, why not?
It was.
Is she a bone expert,
I'll ask it from a
or
different
is she a
witness. Did you see any
radiologist?
evidence that this child had brittle
I
bone
mean,
disease
she
in
got
his
her
bones?
degree in zoology, so.
Are you familiar
Right.
with?
She got her degree in
Or read a
zoology.
question.
I mean,
She's
I
like-
realize that you know a lot about bones when you're a radiologist, but also that does not necessarily mean you've studied every single bone disease and know every single thing to look for in those bone disease. That would be a what do you call a bone doctor? I forget what they're
There
called.
are
An osteopath, right?
Yeah.
So, osteopath is a doctor that looks at the body holistically. So
Oh yeah, not an
it does
osteopath.
sound-
What am I thinking? I'm thinking ortho, ortho
Yeah.
something. I don't know. Orthologist. I don't know, but you know what I'm talking about. There are
Well, yeah.
specialists who
an
who-
orthopedist. Thank
An
you,
ortho-
chat.
Thank
we
you.
don't- I was like, I know it's not an obstetrician, so
a boneologist. Okay,
yes,
you don't
a
you
bone
don't go to
doctor.
a radiologist when you want a diagnosis for a bone disorder, do ya?
No,
I mean, let's not get squunched out here. Let's not get
Yes.
too squunched about this. It is the bone doctor and the X-ray doctor. They're obviously the same.
An ortho squunch. That's with two U's, JKD. Two U's.
Yeah, it's the
You
two
gotta-
U's.
These two U's.
And no
But
other
it's-
vowels.
It's also that not all these disease processes are going to show up in the same person. It's kind of why they say it's the art of medicine and why there are possible side effects. Not every person that say has osteogenesis imperfecta is going to have all of these signifiers. There's
Right.
kind of a constellation of indicators, but there's not always going to be these things, and they're leaving out the fact that they didn't have the blood work. So regardless of any of that, you might not have seen any of this, but you've also got to imagine that, yes, it is alarming if a 3-month-old who has very squishy bones has these fractures. What happened? I mean,
Obviously, a
think that they would-
squunching, a great
Squunching.
squunching.
The
what
squunching.
happened.
No one
The
expects the Spanish squunching.
I went all the way to page 17 of the Googles. That's the end of. You
That's
can't get any further, and
that's
it
the
says
end of
squunch,
Google.
not a real word.
That's the
not
end
a
of
real word.
Google. I feel like it should be though. It should be a real word.
Are-
I'm gonna
Did
try
you just
and get
start
to
on page 1 for Ask Jeeves?
I'm trying to get to the
No.
end of this rate of the state questioning of this radiologist so that on Wednesday we can start with the defense because
Yes.
I really don't want to hear the state anymore. So let's speed this up a
An
little.
article
Yeah.
called Evaluating Young Children with Fractures for Child Abuse. It's a clinical report.
Yes.
It's written by Hannity, Sherry, and DiMeggio.
Sean Hannity?
Would you consider these authors respected in
Sarah
their respective
Huckabee.
medical fields?
They are.
And ma'am, if you don't mind, if you'll answer yes or no.
Oh, yes.
Um,
If I can propose, if Ms. Fox is planning on having the witness on direct go through periodicals and journals, that's not permissible.
I'll say that across. I've got it marked.
Okay.
That's fine.
On it.
Thank you.
I'll make
Have you
it.
viewed skeletal scans of children with osteoimperfecta? I've asked that before, but I'm going to get a little bit more specific.
Yes.
I
Did
need
you
that on
see
the
any
board.
indication of osteogenesis
I'm gonna
imperfecta
squunch.
specifically in any of Jameson's scans? And for the record, you reviewed November's, January, February, and June.
I did. No.
Did you look at the metapoc sutures at the skulls?
Yes.
And did it appear to be closing too early?
No.
When would it normally close on a healthy child?
3 to 7 months.
Okay, and he would have been right at 3 months when he presented?
3 months in January.
Okay. If you had that condition where they closed too early, what deformity would you notice in the child's head?
The suture is right down the middle of the forehead. So if they close too early, the forehead becomes pointy right down the middle. It's called trigonencephaly. It looks like a triangle.
So it looked like a character
I
out
feel
of
like
Star Wars
Dr.
kind of
Coleman has that.
Similar.
thing. Even if it had closed earlier than expected, would that, in the skulls that you looked at, were you looking for the soft spots or anything that would indicate that his had not yet closed fully?
I'm sorry, what was that question?
When you looked at the skulls
Hmm.
images of Jameson, could you still see that there were portions that had not yet closed?
Yes, sutures were open, soft spot open.
Did you see any evidence of a vitamin D deficiency in the scans that you read?
No.
Did you look for them?
Yes.
Hypothetically, well, I can ask that from a different one then. Aside from the rib fractures and compression fracture, what was the condition of Jameson Timms' bones and skeletal structure itself?
Normal.
Did you indicate anything at all in any of the scans that you viewed that would have been considered abnormal?
No.
Did you note any bone within bones?
No.
If you had, would that have been something you would have noted in your report?
Yes.
Specifically as to the scans taken at CHOA, did you note that anomaly?
No.
What is that called?
Bone within a bone is just the appearance of bones where it almost looks like a picture frame. There's not really a bone within a bone. It just looks like that. It can be seen with certain metabolic bone diseases.
And I guess the bottom line is, when you viewed the last set of scans in June, would you agree with the analysis that they are normal in June?
Yes.
Your witness?
Mr. Hood.
Squunch berries.
Good morning, Dr. Dixon. How are you?
Yes.
All right, this is where we stop. Okay, we have reached the end. We've gotten to where the defense is going to come in and take this woman's testimony apart, I'm assuming. And we will pick that up on Wednesday. Tomorrow, I will be interviewing Jack Fox on the Laura Owens case, and he's going to be analyzing the emails I got from Tag. And that's going to be great. That's going to be tomorrow at 11 a.m. So a little bit later than
Cool.
this stream is. And then on Wednesday, we will be back to hear the defense. Ladies, what do you have going on this
I
week?
put Trump in the.
Oh,
present
God, you
area.
did it already? Where did you put it?
And present is like you'll have to add it to the stage.
Oh, excellent. Okay, let's see.
Squunch.
I'm trying the different versions of it. That's the best one so far.
I'm going to squunch.
Yes.
Yes. God, I love AI. Oh, I need to hear
No,
that
this
again.
is how
We need to hear-
Skynet gets me.
I'm going to
I
squunch.
know.
I'm going to squunch.
Totally gonna squunch. I'd
Rosalind,
squunch that.
can you please send that to me as a file?
Yes,
so that
I
I can
can.
add that to the board, because that's happening. That is
Yes.
definitely happening. So, what do you guys have going on this week that people need to tune in for? Fluxx, we'll start with you. What's going on in your world?
Just doing my Project Zomboid, trying to survive for 100 days. Last time we made it to 85 and then I died, and that was irritating. And I'm currently on my 3rd attempt at day 50, and we're doing good. We actually have a pregnant cow, and our pig is pregnant too. So that's fun.
Ooh. Bacon
Nice.
and
So that'll be today at
hamburgers.
1.
And that's on House of Fluxx. So with 2 X's, make sure you get over there and subscribe to Fluxx. And Rosalyn, what do you got coming up?
I have another Deconstructing a Conspiracy stream on Thursday with a special guest coming on. And what else do I have?
Your last one was amazing, by the way.
Oh,
That
thank you.
Ruby stuff, I was dying laughing with the I am Ruby. Oh,
I am
God.
Ruby.
Like I am Spartacus. It was fantastic. I had not heard that before. Where the heck did you come up with that?
It was shared with me.
That's so great.
By somebody I'm calling XYZ.
Well,
we have
your
to stick with letters.
Deconstructing a Conspiracy streams have been really, really good. So you've got one
Thank you.
coming up on Thursday. Anything else going on?
Thursday evening, and then I'm trying to get with Zach he's from Texas, and he lives near Hunt. He lives near Kerrville, I guess. But so just following up on the aftermath of the floods and how things are moving along.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those were terrible.
And
yeah,
then
absolutely.
Sunday, I think I'm doing a design stream with
Ooh.
Connor, working on his merch.
Oh, fun!
Cool.
Yeah,
That'll be
awesome.
fun.
Yeah.
And what about you? What about you, Mo? What's going on in your world?
Let's see, all this week and hopefully Saturday at 8 a.m. and then on Saturday at 10 a.m. I'll be doing Mornings with Mo. We always have Final Form Jesus segments. So, the stories that make you want to check out the Bible and make sure we're not in the end times. We've got Snake Island and Lord Chippy. Today we had a lot of felonious behavior. So there was a Lord Chippy in Snake Island. And then let's see, we are probably Tuesday and Wednesday going to be covering the Petty Express on the Chris Wolfenberger case. That is a cluster of all proportions. It's another Georgia case from Fulton County. So may God have mercy on all of our souls. Adrian Love is on this one. And well, he was acquitted, if that shows you how much preparation they put into all the evidence they lost and the lack of ability for anyone in Georgia to own a calendar.
And I'm going to hit super chats, the remainders of the super chats that are here, and then I'm going to get going. If any of you need to pop out, you're welcome to do that. There aren't a ton, though, so it should only take me about 30 seconds, actually. Jameson, 2012, I know of a person who had to get an MRI at SeaWorld. Oh, that's got to be a 500-pounder then. That person needs some fat shaming. Speaking of, I have very sad news about the fat shaming video that I have. I can't use it anymore. It has suddenly started getting copyrighted. The free the copyright-free music that I chose to make that video is now being copyrighted.
I noticed a lot of my older videos have done that too. They've all gone demonetized, and I was like,
yeah,
but I used stuff I purchased through Adobe.
Yeah,
stock.
It sucks, but that is the way that it is. So I'm gonna have to make a whole new fat shaming video, I think. But so I don't know. We're not gonna be able to do our squats for a while, folks.
Oh no, rats.
I know you really, really, really wanted to do that really badly. Jameson, thanks to the 2, says I deal with causation all the time. And also, now I'm so mad at this doctor. Well, who isn't?
Right?
Thanks for the 2. Radiology sees everything, treats nothing. Yep. X-rays caused bruisings. Oh, now that's interesting. So I did hear people chatting in the chat saying that when you have to X-ray a baby like that, the X-ray techs have to hold the baby down, and that actually can cause bruising and can cause injury. I don't know that to be the case in this case. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
With
I don't
those
know if that's the
torture
case here,
tubes,
but
they're either
Yeah.
in the torture tubes or they have to be held down. And I'm
Yeah.
like, if the baby didn't have injuries before, they definitely had injuries after.
Right.
Well, and if you
how is
see
that gonna
that
help?
one, his arms are up,
Yeah.
and it looks
So
like
he's
he's
definitely
being
being
lengthened at
pulled.
least.
Yeah, exactly. Poor baby. Jameson also said on locals, you see definition of that S word on locals. Where?
Ooh.
I have the live chat open. I don't see you in there. Did you post it on the page? Let me see. Let me go look. By the way, if you want to join me on locals, meganfox.locals.com, I do have 2 promo codes that are working. You get half off a year membership for using promo code Good Hair. And if you want just a free month, if you want just a free month to check it out, the promo code for the monthly is thanks. So check it out. Join us on locals. You can join the live chat. I don't see it, Jameson. Did you post it on? I don't see it. What am I missing?
JKD says, might as well squunch. Squunch.
Squunch. Might as well squunch.
Squunch. And on that note, I don't think I have any cash apps to go over. I think we're good on that. I don't have any notifications. And so we will see you later. We are out of here. I don't think I'm going to play the big long thing. I think we will just.
That's what she said.
May the squunch be with you, my fellows.
Yes, we're just leaving today, okay? I've had enough. I don't have it in me to pull up a song. So you know what? Just go do something with your day. Thanks for being here, everybody. I'll be back here tomorrow at 11 for a Laura Owens stream, and then we'll be back to this trial on Thursday at 9 a.m. See ya.